What's going on, everyone? Phil here for KO Gaming. And you know, although we've seen a lot of big leaps and bounds when it comes to the quality of video games and gaming in general in the past couple of years, seeing some really awesome hyper-realistic graphics, seeing the rise of digital downloads and availability of games, and these huge open-world cooperative style experiences, there's still some things that irk me. Even in the present day of 2016, there's some things about modern gaming that piss me off. And I wanted to take a little bit of time to rattle off some of the most annoying pet peeves about modern day gaming that I just need to get off my chest. Now, these are my personal picks for the top 10 things that annoy me the most about modern gaming. You may completely disagree, or maybe you agree. As you watch this video, feel free to leave a comment and let me know if you agree with me or if you think that I left something out. Without further ado, let's get started with my countdown. Number 10. Day 1 required installs and huge Day 1 patches for brand new releases. Hey everyone, remember when you used to be able to just go to the store, pick up a game on release day, bring it home, pop it inside of your favorite console, and be playing that game within a matter of seconds? Well, not anymore, because now, no matter what game you buy, no matter what console you're buying it for, it seems that more often than not only is there a pretty lengthy required install, and although PC users may say, well, we've had to always put up with that, so that's not a valid complaint, we've also got this new issue of giant required Day 1 patches. Now, admittedly, if these patches are put in there to fix a simple issue, like maybe they found a game crashing bug or a corruption issue with your game file save that would make your gameplay experience overall a very negative one, and they catch that and they want to update that right away before you play the game on launch day, that's one thing. But we've seen an increasing and alarmingly increasing amount of Day 1 patches that are a gigabyte or more in excess of size that seems to be entire game modes, chunks of the game, and pieces of that game that were not present on the game disc. It seems more and more often in 2016 in the modern era, when you go and buy a game at the store and you come home with it, you don't actually come home with the complete game on the disc, leading to a massive initial download before you can play it. Now, admittedly, internet speeds are actually getting much better, so as faster internet gets, it's not that big of an issue. But the bottom line is, at least here in the United States where I live...
Hey, this one's out of context. The Division's an online game. Out of context.
Don't have universally great internet.
You can play it without the internet, dude.
Downloading these Day 1 patches and updates for hours on end, and if you're someone with a busy life and you only have a couple hours a day to play, you're going to end up being really pissed off if everyone else gets to play a new game on release day, but you are sitting there in front of your loading screen waiting for the damned thing to download. It's kind of ridiculous, and it definitely is annoying for the modern gamer. Number 9, the inconsistency of digital releases.
This one is so specific that it only applies to him. It's so fucking weird.
As we head into
He's been complaining about this for like, I don't know, 10 years. Like since this video even.
Modern era, we're going to find that more and more games are digital, meaning you're not going to be going to buy the physical disc anymore, but more than likely you're either going to buy it over the internet, over Xbox Live, over PSN or Steam, or possibly you may also be getting an expansion DLC or something like that over the course of several months of a year. But what is up with the distribution practices for this digital content? Why is it that nothing is consistent? I've played games that on release day came out at midnight my time. I've played games that on release day came out at 9 p.m. the day before. I've played games that aren't available until the morning of release day. I've played games that release on a Tuesday, games that release on a Wednesday, and games released on a Friday. Sometimes you get a DLC season pass, and the DLCs aren't even consistent. One releases one day of the week at one time, while another, a couple months later, releases a completely different day of the week at a different time, and it makes it almost impossible to plan out a consistent gameplay schedule for someone who actually needs to pick and choose the time frames.
Like, this one is crazy too, because he was already a streamer at this time. So he didn't really play games at midnight. I know he did a few back then. 2016, he was still with Panda. So, but yeah, he didn't really do midnight release streams anyways. Not often, so, like, I don't even know why he's complaining.
That they can actually play a game. A modern case in point would be Street Fighter V, for which there have been several different DLC expansion characters released, as well as a full-on story mode. But
hey,
every
Nerdbrew,
time
welcome.
there was a major update for this game, it released at a completely random day of the week, at a different time of the day, and there was almost no advance notice from Capcom when it would happen. So if you were a huge fan of Street Fighter V, and as a lot of people, they felt underwhelmed with the amount of content this game had at launch, and maybe you were waiting for additional content, you had no opportunity to really plan out when you would be able to play it, and 9 times out of 10 you just kind of had to jump in at some point during the week and hope that it was available. A lot of the times it wasn't. Now, to make matters even worse, it's not just DLCs that are an issue, but also the fact that sometimes certain consoles get certain DLCs ahead of others due to exclusive marketing arrangements. For example, until this past year, Call of Duty as a franchise always had its DLC expansions available on Xbox consoles about a month or so before they would release on Sony consoles. All of a sudden, this past year, that completely flip-flopped,
hold on.
and the relationship is now that the DLCs are available.
It wasn't all of a sudden. They just signed a new deal. Their deal expired with Microsoft, and then they signed a deal with Sony instead.
For a month advance on PlayStation 4.
It wasn't just like they did it without anybody knowing about it.
That's ridiculous. If you spent the same amount of money as the person who bought that game on the opposite console, you should both have access to all of the same content at exactly the same time. I don't give a flying shit if Sony or Microsoft got a payday from Activision, or if they paid Activision in order to get that advancement so they would sell more copies. It's a corrupt practice. It's not in the good-natured business towards gamers, and it just simply shouldn't happen. And then, of course,
good-natured business towards gamers.
The final straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to digital releases, episodic games. Because if you take a look at the history of these episodic style games, from example, Telltale Games, who over the past several years have had huge series like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us,
get to the point,
amongst many others, they don't have any kind of a release schedule.
Thank you, Redbird.
Really, thank you.
Thank you so much.
$2 from Redbird UJ76. He did the whole review on just one, huh?
On one breath. This, and he does the announcer voice. He keeps the cadence for the whole video. And run-on sentences. He keeps that cadence and that style of speaking. It's crazy. Thank you, Redbird.
Laid out at all. In fact, a lot of the times they don't have consistency in the time frame between when the episodes release, and then they only give you a day advance notice of when it's coming out.
Yeah, that's a good point,
so you may very well buy a season pass for one of these games and not even be aware that the next episode of the game released, completely missing out on it and having to play it at a later date because you just didn't get that information. Right now, I'm actually in the middle of playing Hitman. Now, this game decided to take that classic formula of sneaking around and doing assassinations in an open world, but change it from being a retail-style game release to a DLC-style episodic release game. I couldn't tell you when the next episode's coming out, how many episodes are available. They've been releasing bonus episodes that are only available to play within a certain time frame, and then they go away. It's just a horrendous fucking mess. People who are buying digital content,
I lost the complaint here. What is he complaining about?
Should be allowed to plan out and get the same kind of information as people who go buy.
Because the Hitman thing, they did like events in the game. They were doing special events like, oh, this lasts 2 weeks, go and do it. Like a season pass, like, you know, in games when they have seasons, they do that kind of stuff. That's what Hitman was. I don't even know what he's complaining about.
Game at a retail store. Just because it's a digital release doesn't give.
He was complaining about release dates. Now he's complaining about events in the game.
When it'll be released.
I don't know.
To not have a kind of commitment to the consumer on when they can expect what they've paid for. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, Vaporware, thank you for the 5, brother.
$5 from Vaporware 336. I can't make a schedule if the games don't release according to my schedule. Game companies are so stupid. Everyone listen to me. Et al.
Yeah, et al. Yeah, the whole thing, he still does that too, Vapor. He still does that. Complaining that game companies release too many RPGs in one time frame. They should release them spread out because it's better for my business. Like, what? Who gives a fuck? It's crazy that he still complains in a similar fashion to back in 2016. But he's changed, do you see? He's changed, and he's not the same person anymore.
Ridiculous. It's not acceptable. And
he's just still specifically annoyed about the same specific things.
Digital distribution of content needs to improve drastically. Number 8, the availability or lack thereof of nice packaging and or nice boxes and presentation when you buy a physical copy of a game in the modern era. Hey everyone, remember when you used to be able to go to your favorite gaming store, pick up a game on release date, come home and unbox it? Remember the awesome amount of stuff that used to be inside of a game box and the quality that would go on the artwork and all the descriptions of the game on the outside of the box? Sometimes you would get an amazing full-color, multiple-page pamphlet of instructions and supplemental
Is this an example of a good thing or a bad thing?
Reading source so you actually get immersed in that game universe before you ever boot the game. Hell, even some classics as far back as the PS1 and 2 era came with giant fold-out full-color maps and things that just made it feel like that game developer really appreciated your dollar. Well, say goodbye to that, because in the modern era, it's so damned bare bones, 9 times out of 10, I ask myself why I bothered to drive to my local game store to get the game to begin with. There's nothing in these boxes.
Do that anymore.
Some of them have nothing but the game disc and a little warning pamphlet that may say something about epilepsy or something like that. Hell, some of them don't even have that pamphlet. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes I'm actually surprised when I open a game box to even find the game disc in there, because there's so little that's put into the effort of packing these games and giving them presentation in a physical version anymore. Half the time, I'm surprised that they even remembered to put the game inside. This is something that obviously is a pet peeve.
Thank you, Kevin.
But hey, back in the day, we were treated to a complete kind of presentation when we bought a video game. So when we laid down our hard-earned money, we felt like we were not only getting the game, but we were getting an experience with it, collectibles, swag. Now it's hard to get absolutely anything. It's few and far between where you'll buy a game and you'll even get a collector's card inside the box as some kind of a thank you. It's a shame.
Yeah, games are more expensive too, dude. Thank you, Tractor Goose, for bringing that up.
Because let's be honest,
games are also more expensive.
Are going digital, and less people actually are having gameplay collections and physical game collections anymore. And that is a sad thing. It was a huge part of gaming culture for quite a long time, and unfortunately, it seems that most game publishers are just doing away with that whole thing completely, knowing that eventually everything's going to be digital.
God, these run-on sentences are so hard to listen to.
Alright, so that was just a taste of a few of the things that I find as the worst things of modern gaming. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree or disagree, and also let's see if you can guess some of the upcoming ones that are going to finish off this top.
Alright, we'll watch the rest later, I guess. If you want to see that, stick around. Part 2, and I think there's a part 3. I don't know. Okay, so today, hello, welcome to the stream, guys. Today, we're going to be watching the Level 1 podcast, of course. Live when it gets on in an hour from now. But before that, I was looking through his React channel and looking for stuff to watch. I found a few things that are interesting, maybe. And so I figured we might as well check them out early. And yeah, let's get on with it. This first one is Filthy Frank. You guys remember Filthy Frank? Wow, and DSP watched him. Wow, let's see him shit on it, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, on to the next. This, I think, if I remember correctly, this is an old-time YouTuber named Filthy Frank. Like, he's about a decade old from what he used to do. Apparently, he doesn't make content anymore, but it used to be really dumb content. I've never seen a video of his, so let's see.
You already called it dumb.
ようこそ、フィルシー・フランクショーへ。今日はすごい面白いものを教えてやるよ。俺のクローゼットの中にユダヤ人が2人いるんだ。両方とも死んでる。Konnichiwa, you magnificent bastards! I got a joke for you. Fucking weeaboos go to Japan and be like, where are the subtitles? Now today I want to talk about an issue that affects us on a global scale. Weeaboos. For those of you who don't know what a weeaboo is, a non-Japanese person who basically denounces their own culture and calls themselves Japanese. They try to learn Japanese through the anime they watch and usually end up pronouncing it wrong and looking like a complete idiot. Keep in mind that a non-Japanese person can like the culture, watch anime, speak the language, and respect the culture, while still keeping in touch with their own, which keeps them from being a weeaboo. Here we go. Weeaboos basically disrespect the culture and make complete asses of themselves. Even if you don't know the definition, you've definitely seen these guys around on the internet, at your local comic book store, in your mom's attic. They smell bad, they're disgusting. Now, before I go into this, I want you guys to realize that there's a difference between being a person that just likes anime and people that are full-on disgusting, unhygienic weeaboos. If you just like watching those Japanese cartoons and you're an alright person,
video.
go for it, bud. I don't give a shit. If you like to watch a little hentai on the down low, that ain't my problem, you know?
Yeah, you know I watch that shit, bro.
I mean, I feel you guys. My favorite animes consist of Toy Story, Cory in the House, airplane instruction videos from the 80s, you know, Seinfeld.
Does he actually like
you can
this?
see it's kind of like
here we go.
cringe humor.
What?
Right? I think he did more extreme stuff too, like really stupid, like
It's
body
cringe
humor.
humor.
Shit. That's like embarrassing stuff. Well, I mean, this is almost a 10-year-old video. 41 million views.
Okay.
Make a rant video about weed.
So I don't watch these often, but whenever I do, he always brings up the views. Why does he do that? It's a hypothetical question. I know why, but it's just annoying. It's crazy how often he brings up the views. That's insane.
Right?
Look at the views, huh?
There you go.
Look at these 41 million idiots.
I'm an anime fan as well. But this is when you have a real fucking problem.
I have a katana collection. I've been learning Japanese on Rosetta Stone for like 5 weeks now. I've had so much sex with my body pillow that it stands on its own now. My wife is coming to life. Don't talk shit about Attack on Titan. It's a really good show. I've been really thinking about going to Japan soon. I know how to use chopsticks. I know hiragana. Because, you know, I don't feel like anybody here is on my anime expertise level. First, I'll have to get a job. That's the first thing.
Like, dude, I get that some of you like collecting weapons or something. That's already kind of red flaggish in the first place. But if you're wasting money on like Japanese weapons that you can't even use, that's actually like a problem. You should notify your school. Just because you try and dress and act like a certain ethnic group, it doesn't mean you're that ethnic group. You know, when I was younger, I used to want to be Thomas the Tank Engine, but that shit never happened.
All right, I think we've seen enough. Like,
that's it?
I don't see anything wrong with it at all, but
what?
It's not exactly that funny. Like, for me, it's like the first few minutes were all right, but now it's like already gone on too long. Like, I feel like the skit should end around 3 minutes, and this is an 11-minute and 24-second video. I can't even imagine what else is in it. Is the entire video? It is the entire video. He's just talking to the camera. Oh God,
the entire video.
This is one of his characters. Him in the pink suit, right? Where is it? Oh, now we can't even find it. Him in that pink suit is one of his characters from his videos.
Christian.
Oh my God. I think we've seen enough.
I like how he said, what did he say? He said something specific. He was like acting like a judge of the internet. Oh, that was, I don't want to rewind it. But
all right.
It was really interesting.
What's next?
It's really interesting to hear him say that.
But most dudes
I've had enough. Yeah. It should have ended.
Tarkov at all. Like, people had asked me to play it over the years. Escape from Tarkov, I think it's called. But I've never ever played it at all, so I don't really know anything about it, right?
You know what I'm saying? You've noticed them. I've noticed them. When you think of Tarkov, like...
Alright, so Tarkov, I don't really care. There's nothing else in this video I thought was interesting. Let's see him complain about helicopters or something.
King like liquid and came off. How would anyone even known that was ever going to happen, right? That's just crazy.
What?
Wow, 43 people were killed. 49 homes were completely destroyed. That's awful. And again, there was no eruption. It wasn't like a volcano erupting. It wasn't an earthquake. It's just a disaster, a natural
pretending
disaster.
to care.
Sheesh.
About people.
Wow.
Hello, fellow humans.
Oh, made me sad. I started to tear up there a little bit. Like, geez, you know, you put yourself in that situation. Like someone said, would that happen to you? I don't think so. Like, I live in I do live at high elevation. I live at the top of an elevated area. If you just drive a few streets down, you go down this giant hill into a valley. They call it the valley that way. So I'm way elevated. But I can imagine if I lived on the side of that hill and all of a sudden there's just a slide, right? And shoot, you know, man, that's the dangers. Again, I always say this, that we all live in a false sense of security, right?
My God.
That we all just believe that, oh, everything is safe and secure. And in reality, nothing really is at any moment.
I don't really know who he's speaking for. Like, who are you speaking for where everybody believes everything is okay? I don't know about that one, dude. I don't know who you know, Nobody. But I don't know who you know that actually thinks that. I don't. Besides yourself, I don't know.
Some freak thing could happen. You know, there is an active volcano. Not active.
Really,
there is a volcano.
There's an active.
$2 from JWasso
Thank you, Jay.
989. It's in these moments that I believe he's an alien.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Because he tries to speak for everybody. Like an alien would. Yes, humans like this, correct?
You know,
Humans think this way, correct?
here in Washington,
Everything's
that is
safe,
dormant,
right?
And every once in a while it spews some ash, but it's pretty dormant. What's to say that we're just wrong as humanity and it just explodes, right? I mean, you know? Anyway, wow. Well, that is part 1 of DSP versus the internet for this week. Hope that you guys are enjoying. What a variety. In that one video, we just watched so much variety. Holy crap, right? All right. So we're still in the Ultra member submissions. We'll continue on in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then.
Okay, that was that. What a quick wrap up to that video. I don't have the stream open, so I don't have like unrecorded begging stuff. But we got more. We got more. I don't remember what this one is. I don't know why I timestamped it. I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Didn't we already watch this? Did
Oh,
I not
GTA.
watch the GTA 6 trailer and react to it already? I swear we already did this, because this is an Ultra member submission. Does anyone remember if I actually reacted live to it, or did I just talk about it on my podcast the next day?
Oh my god.
At this point, it's like 3 months old. I don't remember. I can't remember if I live reacted to it, or if we just talked about it. Did I live react to it?
Somebody paid $20 for him to do this and not even remember if he watched it.
Because why live react to it again if I've already done it?
Yeah, why do it again if
I
you
just
paid
talked about
$20?
We could do a live react. It's very short. All right, let's play it. I hope. Oh, you know what? I just didn't even think about this. It may get claimed. So let's see what happens here. Let's see if I can get through this.
The music.
So if anything, you know, the one thing you can say is, wow, the graphics, right?
Yeah.
You take a look at the
Graphics.
lighting here, like, oh
Bad
my
luck,
god, it's
I
like
guess.
photorealistic graphics, right? Oh, I know it's gonna get claimed, the song. Oh, you know what? We'll just mute it. We can watch it without the music. Here.
What?
Because the music is what's gonna get claimed for
Oh
sure.
my
We'll just play it
God.
without the music. Okay.
Wow,
So
what
the
a cool
graphics are
reaction
outstanding,
video.
Right? Look at the flamingos, right? All the physics
Look
in the
at the
game. We're just talking about physics,
flamingos.
right?
What physics? Hold on.
Flamingos, right? All the physics in the game.
The
We're just talking about
physics.
physics, right?
As
Well,
ladies
for
walk
me,
on
the
the
thing
screen,
that gets me
okay?
about this is like basically, I think the game's just gonna follow modern memes,
What?
which I don't know if that's a good way to make a good game. It might make a good few jokes, but if the whole game is just following stupid modern memes, I don't know about that.
What the
Like,
fuck
they
does
did is
that
they
mean?
analyzed this and they cut this trailer into pages like, this is an internet meme, this is an internet meme, this is an internet meme. All they did is they took internet memes and they turned it into like a sandbox of internet memes. Right?
Bro, it's a teaser trailer. It's a teaser trailer mostly showcasing the setting. The first GTA trailer is usually that. It's showcasing the place it's taking place in. Usually.
But I wonder how the
Fuck
final
you
game
mean?
will actually play out, or if it's just for this trailer.
All right.
The other thing is,
Whatever.
I think this trailer is deceptive.
Okay.
I think that it plays in opposite order. So
What?
we already saw one of the protagonists in jail and then talking to a parole officer, right? Let's continue. So this is all representative of supposed to be Miami.
Uh-oh.
Is this where the game's going to take place?
Nail
It's like
biters.
modern day Vice City. And they're showing you all these different things about Miami. You know, the planes flying and everything. That's a meme. All these things are memes that are on the internet and
They're
they turned into parts of
memes.
the game. These are real videos that happened. Like a gator went into a store and stuff. That guy, these are all internet memes. All these, they actually found the real people that these people are.
Okay.
That guy right there, that guy's already an internet meme. He's from Miami, and he tried to tell Rockstar to put him in the game and stuff. He was threatening them because he's an asshole, and they're like, "No, fuck you."
Because
We're
he's
not
an
doing that."
asshole. Remember when God of War took his footage? Santa Monica took his footage? He said he could sue them. Remember that? They didn't ask for
So
permission.
you heard what she said? She says, the only way we're going to get through this... You didn't hear it. I forgot. I muted it. She says, the only way we're going to get through this is to work together and be a team. And it shows them, like,
forget?
robbing a store. Okay?
Okay.
Trust. You see? So then they go rob the store together. Right? And that's the end of the trailer. So I'm going to tell you right now that trailer, in my opinion, this is my pure speculation, is the opposite order of what you just saw. What actually happens in the game is the game starts off that they're like a kind of a Bonnie and Clyde team pulling robberies, and probably you do one or two together, and then there's a big job, and he screws you over. Either he, at the expense of him getting away, you get caught because you're the protagonist, right? So I think she's the real protagonist of the game, not him. He's a supporting character, and he screws you over early on in the game.
Wait. Don't you play as both of them? I remember seeing the leaks. You play as both. Both. How is he a supporting
the jail
character?
You deal with the jail time. Now you got to work with the parole officer, and you're trying to get your life back together, and that's the game. That's what I think happens. Now, this is all speculation, all right? But that's the way that I feel like the game goes. Not, oh, she's in jail, she gets out, now she's doing the Bonnie and Clyde thing with that guy. I think that was the intro to the game, but they put it at the end of the trailer to fool you. That's my take. And I think she'll be the protagonist, and there is no co-protagonists in this one. She's the protagonist only. And the reason they don't want to announce that early is because there's sexist people out there who be like, oh my God, a woman is the protagonist of GTA 6 only? Oh, we can't have that. And I think that's exactly what they're going for. That's my take. I could be wrong. It's just pure speculation, but I'm reading it the way I see it, and I bet that's what it's going to be. She's the protagonist. She gets screwed over by that guy. She goes to jail, and the story is a revenge story. First, she's trying to get her life back together, and then she finds the guy, and now it's all this kind of get the guy kind of deal. That's what I think it's going to be.
Get the guy?
So there you go.
So there you go. He didn't even react to it. He barely reacted to the trailer. He just gave his opinion on the story. The story that hasn't happened yet. And people are sexist. Okay. What's next? What else did I have in this video? Nothing, right? What is this? What's he doing here? What is this?
Height was 7 feet 8.
Can't stop it. Look. I couldn't stop it. What the?
Hey. Heyo, Rebsy. I saw what you tweeted.
I can't stop it. Look. I couldn't.
There you go. DSP, what are you watching? What is this? Why are you getting recommended this? Best of DSP Gaming, and this is how you don't play. I don't know, dude.
I couldn't stop it.
Is that a troll video?
It froze, and I couldn't stop it. I literally couldn't stop the video from playing. All right. Well, that's a good place to end. Okay. So, wow, what a story. That's insane that it's just about that pituitary gland is what causes growth.
I like how he doesn't even open it. He doesn't even go back. He doesn't want you to see it. He saw it and he doesn't want you to see it.
Then it could go the opposite way. That's wild.
He just leaves the screen gray.
Guys, thank you. That is the end of the Ultra member submissions. Now we head into our second half of the show for the week, where we're going to go into the standard submission level tier, which means we have a random order and we see what you guys have in store. But so far, you've been a great audience.
Great audience.
Thank you to everyone hanging out with me here today live.
$100 out of 150. Let's go. Great audience.
I'll see you in the next part.
$50 from Lisa Lou. Yes. Okay. This is a memeology. Thank you for this clip because I wasn't going to be bothered to find this. DSP goes on a banning spree and takes out anyone arguing with his philosophical views. So this could be interesting.
How long is this video?
Spirited man.
10 minutes. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Let's see what the subject matter is. We are in a fourth turning. What does it mean?
Had been expecting this crisis. Maybe not a global pandemic per se, but he knew something was coming. A spirited man himself told him to read this book, The Fourth Turning. This book turned out to be this spirited man's favorite kind of book. A mind blower.
For now?
A book about how and when history repeats itself.
Exactly. So I'm just going to say this because this is something that I've been saying recently in the last few years. Something that I've noticed about humanity and America in particular is that our culture, our methodology, our way of thinking, our philosophy is like a pendulum that swings back and forth. Think of a big grandfather clock, and it has that pendulum that goes tick, tock, as it goes back and forth. That's really how our world seems to be, right? You know, at any point,
Okay.
Everyone's thinking one way, and that's the way, and then sometimes it swings the other way, and everyone thinks the other way. You know, liberalism, conservatism. Liberalism, conservatism, right? This is what's popular today. Oh, not anymore, because now we're so tired of it. We get, you know, it swings back this way, and now we go over here, and we hit the other extreme.
Sway.
And then this extreme, and then the other extreme. And I've totally seen this happen.
They must have a bad back. I think history's got a bad back.
I mean, just in my 42 years on this planet, I've seen opinions change. I've seen culture change. You know, when I started on YouTube, it was all about being as extreme as you possibly could, as offensive as you possibly could. Then all of a sudden, this woke culture hit, and it was like everyone cancel everyone for doing everything, right? Now you're starting to see those old trends come back. When I started on YouTube, it was 10-minute videos, rush through a video game, finish as quickly as possible. Then all of a sudden, it became longer videos, more meaningful content, meaning.
Meaning. Thank you, Felix.
$2 from VLX11387. JFC the Philistine pretending to know history.
It's also very narrow-minded, the way he's looking at it. He's just applying it to things that he knows, which I guess is okay for a reaction. But, I don't know. It sounds very childish, the way he's describing it. I don't know. It comes across as very uninformed.
Don't rush, do all the content, do a better playthrough. Now I find out, oh, guess what? All the top YouTubers now just rush through games, finish them as fast as possible to get on to the next one again. I gotta play a game. Okay, I gotta play this game. Gotta rush through it, finish it so I can get to the next game. Let's play the next game. Gameplay. Get those gameplay videos out. Gameplay videos. Wait, but that's what I...
Because it is. Yeah, you're right.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah.
$2 from Redbird UJ76.
Thank you, Redbird.
He's so deep like a HS fresh in the back of glove.
He's still in high school? I'm assuming that's what HS means, yeah. He never evolved. He's never changed.
I did 15 years ago, and you all told me that was terrible change. So I did, and now you're saying it's popular again. Tough shit. That's what I mean. In life, everything just seems to be swinging back and forth. One way, one side, the other side.
Sway.
One extreme, the other extreme.
That's why they call you Sway, right?
So let's see if that's what this is about or not.
And this is what the book said. History repeats itself in 80-year blocks called saeculum. Great movies, great music. This is when the first Macintosh computer came out. The awakening is a time of increasing individualism. This second turning, this awakening, ended with the re-election of Ronald Reagan in 1984.
You know what, though? I hate to say it, because you could see it different ways. He's saying the high was that time, but then there was awakening when there was social justice and everything, you know, changed. But at the same time, you can argue that awakening is what ended the high. That the stability of that first turning, right, was rattled when there was the awakening that shook everything up and changed the idea of that should be stability. That the stability is no good. We want to change this, right? And do all these different things. Okay, what's the unraveling?
Things get messy during the third turning.
According to him, I'm Gen X. What's funny about that is I always thought I was Gen X.
Oh, boy.
But everyone said then, no, you're not. You're a millennial. I'm like, how am I a millennial? I'm born in the 1980s, right? Like, I graduated from high school in the year 2000. Does that make me a millennial? I thought millennials were people who were born around the millennium. But I don't know. I never felt like I've fallen into any of these generational groups.
He's the main character, of course.
So, this is a great video, but it's heavy. And
he's unique and special. He doesn't fit into any generation.
We've watched how
he grew up in the 80s, as we all know, and then he grew up in the 90s, and then he also grew up in the 2000s. He's been growing up. Like, he grows.
Half of it, and already people in the chat are bored.
Yeah.
So what I'll say is we'll end it here. If ever we get deep into philosophy or politics or whatever on a different channel, perhaps we will we'll watch this in its entirety or another kind of analysis of this. I'm not surprised that if you analyze human history that you see patterns like this. Honestly, I'm not. You know, like I said, it seems like we're destined to go back and forth like a pendulum. Everyone agrees.
Yeah, I was about to say, Snoot, how he just stops the video before the video even gets to the point that it's trying to make. And he just draws a conclusion based on a thing that he hasn't even seen fully.
Then it goes over here. Oh, no, this is good. Now this is good.
Yeah, he's just reaffirming what he said earlier. That's all he's doing, based on nothing, because he didn't see the full video.
Now this is good. Right now, we seem to be in an era. Well, we were in an era of high liberalism, right?
You know,
liberalism. It's okay. Everything is accepted. Everything's all right. You know, but now it might force an era of the opposite, right? Where people want conformity now. They don't want everyone being individual and different. Everyone wants to be more conform, more order, right? We might be going in that direction. I don't know. But as a society, we keep going back and forth between these two opposites, I feel.
High
right?
conformity, by the way.
Okay. Well, that is part 2 of DSP versus the internet. I hope you guys enjoyed for this week. We still got another 2 hours coming. Thanks for everyone chilling with me and enjoying here live on the stream, and we shall continue on. Cool. Okay, just for the record, people, if you're going to disagree with it, that's fine. But literally sitting here and saying stupid shit like, you're not built for politics or philosophy. Your pendulum theory is childish. There's no point. This is not a debate stream.
What?
You're wasting your time. And it's annoying to see you act like that because you think you're like your superior.
What? Dude, okay.
Because you say something like that and you know I'm not going to counter you because we're on a stream where we got to continue.
What?
So just keep it to yourself. It's okay to have that thought, but
it's okay to have it, but keep it to yourself, and it's annoying and you're wasting your time, but it's okay. And you act like you're superior. But me doing what I'm doing right now is not me acting superior.
A fucking shitbag in the chat.
Shitbag.
Isn't going to help anything. It's just going to make me get pissy with you, and then I'm just going to fucking ban you.
What?
All right? Like, use your brains.
It's okay, but I'm going to ban you.
Okay.
Also, wait, what did they say? Hold on. What did they say?
You're wasting Sophie. That's fine. Okay, just for the record, people, if you're going to disagree with it, that's fine. But literally sitting here and saying stupid shit like, you're not built for politics or philosophy. Your pendulum theory is childish.
How narcissistic do you actually have to be to think that that's something stupid for someone to say about you? When you're clearly out of your element and you're fucking very uninformed. That sounds like a astute statement from somebody in the chat, pointing out how childish you sound when you talk about stuff like this. That's like pure narcissism to come out and get offended by that. I think most people in this case who were like this guy, but normal, would just say, yeah, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe, you know, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I haven't read it. I haven't done the research. That's what like a normal person would say. But this guy actually believes, like, no, what you said is false. I am cut out for politics, idiot, and philosophy.
There's no point. This is not a debate stream.
What?
You're wasting your time. And it's annoying to see you act like that because you think you're like your superior because you say something like that and you know I'm not going to counter you because we're on a stream where we got to continue. So just keep it to yourself. It's okay to have that thought, but being a fucking shitbag in the chat isn't going to help anything. It's just going to make me get pissy with you, and then I'm just going to fucking ban you. All right? Like, use your brains.
Oh, no. He's going to ban me. Oh, no. I'm going to cry.
Okay. All right. Like this guy. Unrecorded bitching segment. Well, here's an unrecorded banning segment.
Unrecorded bitching segment.
Hey, like, use your brains. Okay? Thanks.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Like this guy. Unrecorded bitching segment. Well, here's an unrecorded banning segment. So I don't have to ever read your message ever again.
That's so good.
Okay? Thank you. This is funny. If you don't, then don't bring it up. Dude, I'm watching a fucking video that's talking about it. You know what? I'm just going to ban you too. I've had enough of you.
What?
Goodbye. I don't have to deal with you either. They're fucking morons. You're fucking to sit here and argue with me during my live stream. You're a fucking idiot. You know this is not a debate stream. This is me reacting to videos. Is I can sit here and you're just wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're stupid. You're wrong. Well, guess who's stupid now because you can't talk in the chat anymore, you dumb fuck.
Oh, shit. He got you there. Whoa. He banned you. Whoa.
I guess we know who's really stupid. What a dumbass. What a fucking dumbass. What an idiot.
What an idiot. It's okay to have your opinions, by the way. He started this by saying it's okay to think what you think.
Okay.
Is it?
Let's continue on, shall we? All right. That was, by the way, that was part 2. We still have 4 more parts to go.
Great.
And I want to thank you all for chilling with me here today. Those who actually are enjoying the clips and not being jerks. Okay? Appreciate that. See here, wow, there's a bunch of trolls today. You can see there's a bunch of them here today. Here's
there you go.
One.
Anyone, any sort of dissent, don't follow the cult way of thinking, the cult way of chatting, banned. You're a troll.
They probably all came in together. I fucking idiots.
There you go. Fabricated scenario. They came in together. Yes.
Yeah, look,
organized.
and look, Eternal Napalm just got one too. Yeah, but they were all just sitting here being morons. Okay. Yep. We're gonna go on Phil's react stream. We're gonna debate everything he says because we know that he can't counter it because he has to move on because it's a clip show, right? It's not a debate show. I don't get it. Fucking morons.
Apparently, he can't respond to the chat. He can't have a discussion. I thought the whole fucking point of this was to interact. I thought you were an interactive streamer. Why the fuck can't you respond to people in your chat? You can't give opinions, but it's okay to have opinions, but it's not. You see how that works?
Thank you for watching, everyone. We are almost, I would say we're almost.
All right. Thank you, Memology, for that one. That's, wow. Wow. Narcissism. I
had to do it to them, snipe.
Thank you, J-Dog.
Based. Fucking based.
59 Norwegian kroner from J-Dog. Thus endeth the age of man. The pendulum swings and the age of the pig is dawning.
Is it? Thank you, J-Dog. The age of the pig. It's a pig in a party hat.
When John...
Okay, so this one, DSP calls Craig a racist MF after debunking his old jokes, drama, and DSP throwback. So this one's a doozy. Prepare, guys, because this one...
Your mouth-drooling fucking retard. I shouldn't have said that.
This one's pretty special.
Died. I laid orchids on his grave.
Aha.
I cried when they told me I'd already lost one of my children.
Huh?
And now they were taking away another one, you understand?
Oh, for adoption.
Here it comes.
Or were they just selling them on the black market?
Oh! Oh! So now hold on a second here.
Hold on. I don't, it was kind of quiet. You gotta hear it.
Now they were taking away another one, you understand?
Oh, for adoption.
Here it comes.
Or were they just selling them on the black market?
Oh! Oh!
So he said black market.
Now hold on a second here. Now I've got the evidence. I've had enough. Contact Stuttering Craig, that motherfucker, right? Who a year ago during his interview was trying to tell me that I was making a racist joke during a playthrough that I made. I literally just made the same exact joke about children on the black market in 2010, and that was 12 years prior. It's the same joke. It has nothing to do with racism. Stuttering Craig is just a fucking asshole.
Thank you, Memology. Holy fuck.
All right, boys. Prepare the slave trade. We're selling her right off for profit.
Oh, okay, thank you, DSP. Okay. So, white family is black market. Black girl is slave trade. Yes, that's the same joke. I understand now. Thank you. Thank you, DSP, for explaining.
Right, she's too valuable to escape. She's worth lots of money.
That's fucked up. Yeah. So what's
and black girl gets the KFC Colonel Sanders voice. All right, boys.
What's going on there, man? Like,
all right. He fucking had to pick that shit and try to pull a race card on me during an interview when it had nothing to do with reality. It's literally the same fucking joke.
Literally.
12 years before, I just reiterated it in a modern playthrough, and everyone said, oh, in 2022, you can't say that anymore. Well, there you go.
Okay. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again, right? If DSP wants to make jokes like that, fine, whatever. It's a bad joke, but fine, okay? He's just going to be that guy. He'll be the racist joke maker guy. The thing, though, with DSP, why they showed him that clip, and why it was being discussed, and why people pointed out, is because he himself says he's changed. That's the difference. DSP is the changed man. He found Jesus and he's different. Every year he's different. He's not the same guy he was 5 minutes ago, right? If that's the case, then that's why they showed you the clip, because it was a recent clip of you doing the same shit that you do. The same shit. That's why it's relevant. It's not them trying to cancel you. It's them showing a contradiction in your own fucking logic. That's all it was.
100% evidence, and it's with a white child, not a black child. It's the same fucking joke that I made. All right? So there you go. There's your fucking evidence. I've had enough of that bullshit. What a man. What a man. What a manly man.
What was the name of the foster family that adopted
you? You can call me an asshole. What? You can call me
okay,
an
you're
e-beggar.
An you're an e-beggar.
Okay, you don't like me. Got it. You think I'm a scammer. Got it. You think I'm a scumbag. Got it. You think I'm the worst gamer on the planet. Got it. All right.
Yeah,
you could call me
Hey, Ramen Brahmin, dude. Thank you so much.
$4.99 from Romain Bremen. If you
Bremen.
watch the SS clip, Craig never accuses him of racism. He points out he makes inappropriate joke when he claims he changed.
Exactly. I want to watch that on stream one day, but I don't. It's kind of long. I don't know if anyone's interested. But yeah, they were never trying to cancel him. They were never trying to do anything like that. They were just pointing out how they even said it, like, oh, you said you changed, but this is from 2020. It was like, at the time, it was like less than a year ago. And so that's the point of what the clip was there for.
Reverend, you could say that I've said awful things over the years, but the one thing you can never accuse me of is racism, because I've never been racist ever in my life. That's bullshit.
I've never been racist. Really?
So they were only staying there for
like, that's a challenge, because I know Memology's about to do it, but that's like, why would you ever say that as DSP? Imagine you wake up as DSP Gaming. Would you be bold enough to say, I've never been racist ever? Really? As DSP Gaming? Like, you're this guy right here? Why would you say that? Why are you challenging people to do that? To, like, find shit?
A period of time anyway before they went to Puerto Vallarta or Puerto Locos Tacos. Nachos, Doritos.
Of young Chinky Chang, Charlie Chan.
Of course. See, I used to do comedy like this all the time.
Comedy.
And it was all right. Now I do it and people get offended.
Comedy like this. Comedy like Chicky Chang, Wang, Charlie Chang. That's a good joke. That's a good punchline. A good setup, too. And the delivery. The timing was great.
Here we go.
Hey, guys. Chicky Chang, Wang. Isn't that funny, dude?
Oh, my God. Hell.
That's a good joke.
He's a foreign barker. And he's black.
What?
Oh, my God. Help.
Hold on. We gotta hear that again. Thank you, Dudette.
$2 Canadian from Dudette. He's never been racist. Only irreverent.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. You just debunked me. He's not racist. He's irreverent and an asshole and an e-beggar, like he said.
Here we go. Oh my God! Help! He's a foreign barker, and he's black. For the record, I absolutely had no clue that joke about child trafficking was in this playthrough. But isn't it funny? 12 years later, I'm playing a game that's exactly.
Okay, wait. This is the biggest lie he's ever told too. Look at this. He's trying to say he didn't know that he was about to see this.
And he's black. For the record.
I
absolutely had no clue that joke about child trafficking was in this playthrough.
Joke about child trafficking was in the playthrough. Let's see him hype it up. Look at this shit.
I laid orchids on his grave.
Aha.
I cried.
What does he say? What does he literally say? Let's see.
He told me I'd already lost one of my children.
Huh?
And now they were taking away another one, you understand?
Points at the camera.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Here it comes. I had no idea this joke was in the video, but here it comes. Here it comes, guys. I didn't know it was there, though. Nice. Thank you for the lie.
Record, I absolutely had no clue that joke about child trafficking was in this playthrough.
Nice.
But isn't it funny? 12 years later, I'm playing a game that's exactly similar to the gameplay of Heavy Rain, right? What was it called? Like from dusk or something like that.
Let me pretend not to know the game.
Falls,
Let
I
me
think it was
pretend.
called. And it was a very similar situation where there was a child in danger, and I made a joke about child trafficking, and somehow I'm a racist because the child was black.
Right.
No, I'm not a racist because the child was black. You're a racist if you think my joke is racist because the girl was black, because all you see is skin color because you're a racist motherfucker.
What? Guys, apparently I'm racist. Oh no.
Based.
Oh no. Are we the racist ones? Dude, he said it. He said it. That must mean we're racist because he said we are.
So thanks for asking me that question in the interview, you fucking asshole. Why did you do that?
Oh, this playthrough was great.
Yo, it's Mac. Sean McAllister, yo. The token black. He's here. Now I'm driving his car. Yeah. I'm black, son. Yeah, that's what always gets me about people online who want to say people are racist and try to cancel them. It's like, wait a minute. Unless someone overtly made a insult about a race, it's not a racist joke. It's not a racist comment.
What?
If you are assuming race...
Wait, let me hear that again. Hold on.
It's like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's what always gets me about people online who want to say people are racist and try to cancel them. It's like, wait a minute. Unless someone overtly made a insult about a race, it's not a racist joke. It's not a racist comment.
Overtly racist joke about a race? Unless you do that, then it's not racist. I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. What is it, like, what defines overtly racist? I don't know.
If you are assuming race in the joke, then you're the racist.
What if you say, yo, I'm black, son? Yo, I'm black, son. Get my cocaine out of the pancakes, son.
What is, like, from Rollback Snort Code, Phil has boomer logic when it comes to race. Every Asian is Chicky Chang Charlie Chang pork fried rice even though the games were in Japan. Every Latino person is tacos. Also racism was only looked down upon in the last 10 years. Never earlier.
Yeah, for real.
F this hateful slur.
Yep. Thank you, Rollback. It's great too, because for him to try and sit there and say nobody was offended back then, like, that's just not true. You just kind of banned people that were, and you ignored people. You were big enough to where you could ignore those people, but now everybody kind of just hate watches you and laugh watches you, so you can't really ignore it anymore, and you like to pretend that you've changed when you really haven't. And it's like I said, I think if he wants to do just fucking weird, terrible jokes about race, like, sure, he can do it, I guess, if he can get away with it. But the problem is he doesn't own it, and he says he changed. To me, that's the problem. That's why people point it out. Because because if he's gonna be like who he is, it's just who he is. There's no changing this guy. But for him to say that he's changed and then still do this shit is the crazy part.
You're the one who sees race when the other person probably doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
And who never eat pork bun have very limp dick. Very limp dick. Oh, yes. Pork bun.
Thank you.
Nick.
Really?
Thank you, Garrido.
$2 from Garito. As a Chicky Chang Charlie Chan race, I can confirm.
Thank you, Garrido. Thank you. I'm glad you can confirm. Thank you so much, dude.
You're very vital. When you eat pork bun, your balls grow. Giant heaving testes for you.
See, like, what's the joke there? Realistically, right? If you want to break this down logically, meaningfully, factually, what is the joke? The joke is the accent. That's the joke. That they don't speak English correctly? Garrido, you don't speak English correctly. That's the joke he's making. Which is like, okay, I guess, if you're like 10 years old. I don't know. What's the joke?
Your balls grow.
Balls. He said balls. That's the joke.
Giant heaving testes for you.
And
eat
testes.
Pork bun now.
Oh, Sarah,
and
I have
eat Chinese food. That's the joke.
no idea, nor do I care. She says, if you saw the guests they have on their show now, they have no right to ever call you a racist. Listen, I don't know. I don't care. I'm well aware they jumped off the political deep end, and they really have nothing to do with gaming anymore and pop culture, that they're just talking about politics constantly.
This is coming from the guy that wants to do a politics channel. That seems pretty weird that you would do that. Why are you shit-talking one when you literally want to do it also? But, okay. Interesting.
You know, they took the
but they do it constantly, so that's the difference. You see,
easy way out. They realize they have absolutely no actual.
Wait, what?
You know, they took the easy way out. They realize they have absolutely no actual.
Okay, clip this. Not me, but this clip here from Memology. Remember this when he starts his channel. Just remember this. He took the easy way out, right? You did a politics channel, right?
Out in the gaming spectrum, so they just constantly talk right-wing politics now. Which is hilarious, because when I was on the show, they were outright saying they didn't want to do politics, and now it's all they do. I'm well aware of that, and I don't care. I don't watch their show. I never will again. I mean, that whole thing was a fucking sham to begin with, and we all know that now.
Italy was
right?
hotter.
Okay.
Ain't that
I don't have items to get rid of toxic, so I can't cure toxic.
Oh,
we're good, right? I actually just want to stretch my legs for a second, and then we'll continue on. Thanks, guys, for chilling. Again, to the few who have supported so far tonight, thank you. Guys, please support the channel tonight if you can. These streams are really the only time I make any profit on this channel. I don't really make much on ad revenue, like $1.
It goes from calling you a racist to begging.
A day. And these streams have done really well up to now.
Hello, fellow racists. Give me some money,
if you want to keep them weekly, please support it if you can. Just let me stretch, and then we'll continue. Just let me stand up for a second.
Louise, man.
Dude, I was joking! Dude! I was fucking joking. I said Black Mamba. There's a fucking Black Mamba I'm racing against right now. Oh my god, could it be any more stereotypical? Black fucking Mamba's right there. El Coco.
Okay. Okay, DSP. So we've got 15 minutes. Well, generously, we've got 15 minutes before he starts. I guess we'll watch part 2 of this. But yeah, this racist shit, it's just, it's ridiculous hearing DSP talk about it. And then the jokes that he was making, the irreverent commentary, and that he still makes, by the way. He still does that shit. That's okay. But talking about saying snort in his chat, saying gout, making fun of his post-nasal drip, that stuff is not okay. Because he can't control it. But saying Chicky Chang Wang is okay. Because you can control being Chinese, you see? Come on. Garrido, you gotta step up, bro. Why didn't you just choose not to be Chinese, bro? The fuck's wrong with you, bro? Come on. Step your game up, man. You didn't know?
What is up, and welcome back, everyone, to my countdown.
Let's get back to his gaming takes.
Things about modern gaming. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I strongly recommend you check it out and get caught up. You can either click on the screen here if you're watching on PC on the annotation, or you can check the video description if you're on mobile to go ahead and watch that first. But without further ado, I want to continue on with the countdown, so here goes. Number 7, popular games that have bad cameras but refuse to admit it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garrido.
Thank you.
$2 from Garito. Reminder, Panda Lee is not a Chicky Chang.
That is all. Correct. And by the way...
Kat agrees with me.
Look at this guy. He looks so depressed. Oh my god, I hate my job so much.
Thank you, Kat.
It or improve upon it.
Thank you for your feedback.
We've come a long way. I remember back at Mario...
Dude, I can make Kat talk more than she talks on DSP streams. Just with my sound clips.
That makes me cringe. Ugh.
She won't leave from getting bored, too.
64,
That's
how
pretty funny.
terrible that camera was and how it would constantly get stuck and not show you the proper perspectives to see what you needed to do in certain situations. And admittedly, modern gaming is a lot better at that. You know, a lot of games are first person in this day and age, in which case the camera is controlled by you 100% of the time. And even in most third person action style games, the camera tends to be pretty good. But there's one series of games from one game developer that infamously I have issue with the camera, yet it seems like they don't want to ever improve it. That's right, From Software, I'm looking at you.
I gotta say, I've played pretty much every From Software game, except for Sekiro. I played like 2 hours of it. I don't think I've ever had a camera issue. Like, to the extent that he's describing it. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I'm a huge fan of the Demon Souls.
Because he backs into corners and gets the camera into the corner. That's the problem, right? That's what I always assumed.
Dark Souls, and now Bloodborne line of games. And I've played every single one of them. However, every time that I play one,
Lil Calcium.
Question, I end up having issues with the camera, especially in particular if I'm getting attacked by a mob of enemies in a confined space, or if I'm fighting a giant boss.
Look at that. He backed himself into a corner, and he got stuck. That's kind of like your own awareness fault, dude. Look at this.
By a mob of enemies in a confined space, or if I'm fighting a giant boss and I end up getting pushed into a wall or...
He just backed himself into a corner, straight up. How is that the game's fault?
Pushed into a wall.
Why did you walk here, dude?
Wall or a cave or something like that. The camera sticks to the wall. I can't see anything. And because it's Dark Souls, I get pummeled into oblivion
it's a
within
fill
matter
issue.
of 1 to 2 hits, forcing me to completely restart whatever I'm doing from the beginning or the previous bonfire or checkpoint. It's incredibly frustrating, and it's funny because whenever I play these games on stream and one of these deaths happen, people literally will say, yep, it's another Dark Souls camera issue, it's another From Software camera issue.
What?
Yet, they've never
Who
fixed
says
it.
that?
It's almost like the cameraman for From Software games is like that inept half-brother who your mom tells you gotta give him a job because he can't get one anywhere else.
Say that again?
That inept half-brother who your mom tells you gotta give him a job because he can't get one anywhere else, so you can't lay him off or fire him even though you know he does a terrible job. He's just gotta stick around and always do it for you. I mean, they can't improve this camera. Bruh. They can't make it in a third-person action game this popular that makes this much money, that the camera doesn't get stuck in a wall or at least will rotate somehow naturally during one of these fights so you can see what's going on. The bottom line is, in a third-person action game, if you can't see your character, you can't react. Why From Software still hasn't fixed this, even up to Dark Souls 3 when it happened to me this year.
Okay.
I don't get it. It's unexcusable. It needs to be fixed.
One take, Phil.
Number 6, random number generator purchases in modern games.
You guys like his radio voice? TV newscaster voice? It goes on for the whole video.
Now, this has been
every
something
run-on sentence
that's irked me, in particular recently with mobile gaming. In games such as WWE Super...
Holy fuck! Remember when he was buying loot boxes and fucking this game? What's it called? Overwatch?
Recently...
Holy shit, I remember that. He would log on to the game for every event and buy like 50 loot boxes. For a game he didn't even play.
With mobile gaming. In games such as WWE Supercard or Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, or even in a very popular game like Hearthstone. If you want to buy something in these games, you can't just buy specifically what you want. Instead, you have to buy in-game credits that are...
Is he hold on. I'm sorry. I was talking over the whole thing. What the fuck? He's complaining about this? This guy, the W Champions guy?
Purchases in modern games. Now, this has been something that's irked me, in particular recently with mobile gaming. In games such as WWE Supercard or Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, or even in a very popular game like Hearthstone. If you want to buy something in these games, you can't just buy specifically what you want. Instead, you have to buy in-game credits that are then used as currency to purchase a random pack. For example, in WWE Supercard, if you want an epic level superstar, you're not allowed to just pick the one you want and spend a certain amount of money. Instead, you have to open a randomized pack that may or may not even have a character of that rarity that you're looking for, and you don't even know what character it is you're going to get if you get one. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be disappointed with what you get. And
this is pretty funny too. I know I'm pausing him, but this is pretty funny too because this video is the top 10 worst things about gaming. And this is one of the worst things, and it's something that he supported the most, more than his own fucking wife and his own mortgage. Something that he paid like so much money for is one of the worst things ever. God damn, bro.
More money into
can't admit it,
or
though.
end up dejected and disappointed
he needs
and just
serious
not spending
help.
any more money. In Dokkan Battle, it's actually called a group summon, where you exchange crystals in order to get 10 randomized characters. And again, they could be incredibly low level and worthless to you, or they could be incredibly high level. Of course, that's incredibly rare that you would get that. The same thing goes for Hearthstone. You can't just buy the cards you want. Instead, you've got to spend your money on randomized pack drops with your fingers crossed and hope that eventually you're going to get the cards that you're looking for. It's ridiculous. In what other industry can't you buy what you want with your money? It's the vendor's job to set a price that they feel is appropriate. So yeah, if that's a really overpowered in-game item or card, you should have to spend more for it, but not just spend randomly in the hopes that maybe one day you'll get it. I don't understand. And to make matters even worse, it's spilled into the console realm as well. Look at games such as Halo 5 with its wreck drops and cases that you open up and you get these randomized items and things that you can use in the multiplayer modes. Look at Call of Duty Black Ops 3
now it's the battle passes.
Jobs. Oh, I got
now every game has a battle pass.
Really epic level weapon. Yes. Well, no one else got it, but you got it because you're lucky, or maybe because you spent $500 opening random boxes for 2 hours. And of course, the most recent game that is guilty of this is very popular and called Overwatch. Yeah, if you want those really cool high-level skins, and you want any kind of awesome colors or anything.
All right, it's pretty bad. I gotta say, Overwatch is like one of the worst examples to use because I never spent a cent on Overwatch and I got everything I wanted, pretty much. I don't know.
Have to open up loot boxes that
now I hate it. Fuck Overwatch. Me and my homies hate Overwatch.
And most often than not, they'll have crap in them, so you end up spending tons and tons of money.
Yeah.
The problem with this practice is not only that you can't pick and choose what you want, but it takes the control of the purchase out of the hands of the consumer. It makes it the equivalent of gambling. I mean, if you go to a casino and you play a slot machine and you pull the lever and immediately you win, you get something great, you get a reward, you're going to get hooked and you're going to probably want to keep gambling. That's the hook of a casino.
Okay.
But casinos are regulated to make sure that it's fair and that it works. The question is anyone regulating this RNG number style purchases in gaming?
RNG number style purchases? Let's go.
Is anyone making sure that this is legitimate? And how many people are out there dumping tons and tons of money, 20 times as much as the value of the game, into these games in order to get one item that they want? I think it's a slippery slope.
Right.
That's really dangerous.
Thank you, you hypocrite. Thank you so much.
Now, I'm sure there's going to be naysayers out there that say this isn't a negative and it's not a big deal. Allow me to give you an analogy. Imagine if you wanted to go to McDonald's today for dinner and you wanted to purchase a delicious Big Mac sandwich. You walk in, you put your money down on the counter, one Big Mac please, and the person behind the register says,
you see, it's like a sandwich shop.
I'm sorry, you can't just order what you want here. You have to purchase a random food pack where you might or might not get what you want. Okay, I'd like one random food pack, please. Oh, sorry, you got a McChicken sandwich this time. Would you like to just have that, or do you want to try again? You know what? I really want that Big Mac. I don't like the chicken here. All right, $4 more. All right, here comes a random food pack. Oh, sorry, you got chicken nuggets this time. You're getting closer. If you just keep trying, maybe you'll get eventually what you actually want.
I don't even, this is not a good analogy because this shit does exist though. If you go like at a toy store or something, they have toys like this. They have loot toys. That would be a better comparable than fucking food. Why would food be loot boxed, you dumb shit? Why not compare it to toys? What the fuck?
All right, I'll try one more time, and dope, you got a small Coke. Sorry, bub. So you see what I mean?
Bub.
If this was the same kind of practice in any other business, who the hell would do it? Who would walk into a restaurant and buy hundreds of dollars of food in order to get the sandwich?
I don't know,
they
bro.
want?
People buy card packs in real life. I don't know. It's what do you mean?
Who would walk into any store?
Nobody would buy food like that. Is that a genuine question? Why am I answering it as if it is? What the fuck
and spend thousands of dollars before they get the item that they actually want to purchase. I don't understand why we put up with it in gaming. It's a curse on it, and we really need to step up and start talking about it collectively. Number 5, inconsistent performance of the same game across different platforms and consoles. This has always been an issue in gaming, but in the modern era when all the consoles are claiming to be of equivalent power and just as good as the other...
Did I play the most in Overwatch? Mercy.
It is really a sad
like
fact
Mercy
that a
and
lot
Ana.
of games don't perform the same across all
I'm a
platforms,
healer, dude.
even though these game developers and publishers charge the same amount of money for that game. Why is it that some games perform at 900p resolution on one console but 1080p on the other?
What the fuck is this screenshot? This is the blurriest shit ever.
More frame rate, more consistent
You
frame
couldn't
rate.
find a better
It's
photo?
bullshit. Even though there are different hardware setups in these consoles, if you're
There you go.
paying the same amount of money for that game as someone who bought it on a different platform, you should
Beta
get an
Mercy
equivalent
player,
gaming
yeah.
experience.
I can't disagree
and it
with
is
you there.
not acceptable in 2016 that we're still getting inconsistency amongst the different ports. The most recent game that had this issue for me was Dark Souls 3. I played it on the Xbox One, and I had just recently, a year earlier, played Bloodborne on the PS4. And I noticed there seemed to be a significant amount of input lag in the Xbox One version. I pushed the button, and my character would take a significant amount of time to react. And I was like, it's not like this in Bloodborne. It was actually pretty quick with the reactions in that game. I don't understand what's going on. Well, yes, it's found that the Xbox One version of I don't understand what's going on. Well, yes, it's found that the Xbox One version of Dark Souls 3 does have more input delay than the PS4 version. So guess what? You actually are playing a harder game if you're playing it on Xbox One simply because they couldn't port it properly and make it work the same way on both consoles. That's bullshit because I paid the same amount of money for the same game as everyone who bought it on PS4. So shame on From Software for that.
Okay.
Number 4.
Yes, why don't you just turn on the 60 frame code? Where's the line of code that says FPS 60, dude?
Everything in gaming has become some kind of a vile online competition, even if you're not playing a competitive game. You know, I didn't know too much about this.
Wait, what is it? Hold on. Elitism within certain gaming communities? I guess? How is that wrong with modern gaming, though? That's just like the fandoms. Fandoms have always been a thing.
Even if you're not playing a competitive game. You know, I didn't know too much about this one until I started on YouTube back in 2008, and I just started to casually record my gameplay and upload it to my YouTube channel at that time as a hobby.
We're gonna get the Kojima backstory.
Years, I found that there just seems to be this one group of people who, no matter what you're playing, seem to think that everything is this high-level competition, and if you're not playing at their level or in their way or the way that they think is the approved way to play a certain style of game, that it's just unacceptable and you're just a disrespectful slob and yada yada yada. Now, I can understand if there's someone who's saying, I'm gonna be great at a competitive game, like a first-person shooter or a fighting game.
Wait, you did that,
and then they never take the time
Wait, but he did that. He did do that. I can pick up a controller at any moment and play at a professional level.
Actually learn high-level tournament mechanics.
That was you.
Continue to talk shit. Okay, then maybe you can call them out and say, man, that person really doesn't.
Oh, then you could call them out. Okay.
But you have to understand that there is an audience of people who go out there to play games who aren't in it to be the best player, who aren't in it for competition. Maybe they just want to play through the game at their own pace, in their own way, to have fun. What a novel concept, to play a game just to have fun. And I'm going to be honest here, there are a few communities out there that are singularly worse than a lot of others. Yes, again, I'm bringing it up, From Software in the Dark Souls games. It seems if you're not some massive level player who plays exactly the way that people call out you should be, fighting every enemy and mastering every aspect of the combat.
I can't imagine. How old was he here? Like 37? Or whatever the fuck? I can't imagine being that old and actually caring about people's fucking opinion of you playing a game. Like, what the fuck do you give a shit? Honestly, genuinely, what the fuck is wrong with you? If someone says you suck, if I'm playing Overwatch on stream or something, and someone says, haha, you suck, dude, that was bad. You just, like, okay, whatever, who cares? Like, who gives a shit? I don't know. I don't know, man. What the fuck?
Countering every boss, you suck. Even though you might beat the game by playing
it. And it's coming from DSP. It's coming from this guy. This guy who actually sucks at the game. He actually sucks at playing video games. And he's sitting here trying to defend himself and actually caring about people's opinions.
Different style, you still suck.
It's crazy.
You're horrible, and you're going to be derided and called out. Another series that's very infamous for this is the Metal Gear Solid series. God forbid that you play through the game and not actually pay attention to something.
Yes, the Metal Gear Solid series is synonymous with elitism. Apparently.
Something that's going on, or even jokingly make fun of it or its creator, because I'll tell you from first-hand experience,
people discuss the story, the characters, and the elitism.
Even if you're just kidding around
about
it will blow
whether
up
you
in
can
your
play it or
face,
not.
and these people will stalk you for decades. They have some kind of just a massive ego and just elitist attitude when it comes to their favorite games, that God forbid that you would play it and not show it off to its utmost fullest capacity at a high-ass level, which makes no sense, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Dark Souls and Metal Gear Solid aren't competitive games. They're single-player experiences meant to be played however the hell you want, because you bought them. It's that simple.
What?
If we could have a much more accepting community who wasn't always in it for this elitist-ass level of gameplay, I think that we'd all enjoy gaming a lot better. It sucks when you hear about someone who maybe recorded a playthrough, put it on YouTube.
Oh, someone. Who is this someone? Who is the someone that recorded a playthrough and maybe put it on YouTube?
A lot better. It sucks when you hear about someone who maybe recorded a playthrough, put it on YouTube for the very first time, and all they get are these negative-ass comments about how they suck and they should have done it this way or that way. Come on.
Is this when he was still trying to pretend KO Gaming was like a separate channel? You guys remember that? Part of the reason he made KO Gaming was just to have like a new introduction for viewers who don't even potentially know who he is. Is he really trying to pretend that, like...
ARS 100.00 from Rollback Snortcode.
Thank you, Rollback. Thank you so much.
Amount equals I can't wait to play casually and see if I can learn the mechanics. 2 months later equals I can't play Tekken 8 anymore because I suck and can't get better.
Yeah, I know, Rollback. Very, very hypocritical.
Can't we all collectively grow up here and realize that gaming is about having fun at its core? I just don't get it. I've never been of that mentality except when it came to competitive Street Fighter, and you know
I've never been that way except for when I am that way. So because Street Fighter is something that he is that way with, it doesn't count. It doesn't count in his games are just about fun, dude. It doesn't count. Of course, because he does it.
In recent years, now that I'm out of that scene, I realize just how silly of a mentality that ever was to have been in. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, that's it for part 2 of the countdown, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed it. And once again, please leave a comment on the video. Let me know if you agree or you disagree with what I said in this video. I get the feeling some From Software fans are going to come at me, and that's perfectly fine. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like here on YouTube. Spread the word about it.
Did I enjoy the video? No.
And check out the video description for things.
Oh, there's a part 3. I was right. He actually uploaded a new part to the React. Let's just skim through it. I'm going to look at an interesting video. Let's see. What's this? This is why you should go to a convention. What's this? Same thing. What is this? Gaming? What's this?
Elaborate thing with all these...
All right.
Got your Constitution necklace, bitch.
What?
All right.
Huh?
What is this?
In fighting games, win quotes have traditionally been one of the few moments you can learn about a character's
I'm married, dude. Whoa.
personality.
Whoa!
Look at this guy. He looks so
Fighter, you would
depressed.
actually see a lose quote each time you defeated your opponent.
Yep.
The first line is a compliment, but the very next sentence is pretty salty. Sometimes a lose quote can say more about someone than their win quote.
The effects of salt.
The
that's
effects
pretty
of
funny.
salt. Let's
This
go.
is why there's a Twitter user known as scrubquotes whose feed is full of salty lose quotes from people who lost in a fighting game.
Yep.
Losing sucks, and it's why game developers have made all sorts of ways to make it suck less. There are now checkpoints, continues, difficulty levels, hints, and of course, the white Tanuki suit.
This everyone's a winner stuff is a bunch of bullshit. If you suck, you should lose.
Generally, you can
Classic
reduce the amount
Mike
of
Matei
losing by
video.
making a game
Let's go.
easier to beat, but this doesn't work with head-to-head competitive games because both players are trying to win. No matter how easy or accessible you make the game,
Why are they showing
one
this?
of the two players is going to lose.
Paper covers rock. This is my room. No!
This means one-on-one games will necessarily result in half the player base experiencing a loss at any given time, and this generates a lot of salt and consequently a lot of complaints.
You lose, you feel bad, and you stop playing.
Yeah. Correct.
DBFZ is really easy to play, but if someone's better than you, you don't get to play. Casuals just don't want to get steamrolled in a fighting game.
What is it about these games that make people so salty to the point where salt is ingrained in fighting game culture, and how does it affect us?
You gotta be salty after that, because he hadn't won the previous round.
The answer lies in the heart of scrubquotes.
He broke his
If you look at
fucking
these
day.
comments, there's an underlying theme that's repeated
Spamming
over
block.
and over again. Fairness. Sense of fair play has been demonstrated by primates.
All right, when
in
does
an
he talk?
experiment
When does he
involving
talk?
two-
Well,
Here we
for
go.
me, where most of my salt comes from in fighting games.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Honestly, it comes from the modernization of a fighting game to the point where
This is
the
a great scrub
level
quote already.
of skill
Scrub quote?
required to perform
Scrub
at
quote.
a high level.
I'm sorry, I'm talking over.
Of skill required to perform at a high level has just been dumbed down more and more and more and more over the years. So, for example, if you're playing a classic fighting game from the 1990s, the skill level to actually enter a tournament and perform and do well and beat people is very high. Not only is there execution with your controller, the joystick, which it was back then. Back then, there were no game pads at these. It was all joysticks. So not only do you have to practice and be good at execution, which is much harder back then than it is today.
What?
But then you had to have knowledge of all these matchups and everything, and you could only do that by traveling and playing people from all over the country. There was no internet. So because of that, you couldn't just immediately study a few videos and absorb all the knowledge right away. All right? Okay. What's happened is over the last 30 years, fighting game inputs are dumbed down. There's almost no entry level anymore. Like, there's no skill check of doing a combo or a move. It's all easy to do. It's all easy execution, right? It's more about timing, and it's more about...
to do it to them, snipe.
Hey, thank you, Wesley, dude. Let's go.
$5 from Wesley H. Wait, that top 10 video was made when Overwatch was out? If so, why is the video so short? YouTube raised the length limit way before that.
It probably because it's an edited video, and like he was just doing. Look, this one's 18 minutes. He made this part 3 18 minutes. I don't know. He was putting in effort. It took more time to make it, dude. Thank you so much, Wesley.
Consistency than anything else now, right? Sadly, what happens is fighting games become more of a guessing game rather than an execution game. And because of that, I don't like when you go online and someone found this one thing that they can abuse online and do it over and over. And because you're playing online, you just cannot react to it. So it's just ridiculously overpowered. So you might say, well, that's unfair because he just said justice fair. Is it fair? Is it fair?
All right, so before he continues, he started this by talking about tournaments and like there's no skill floor for like entering tournaments, but there is though, because now he's talking about online. If you're playing online, it's different from going to a tournament. If you're a bad player at a tournament, you'll get filtered out pretty quickly. Like players are just better now. It's like sports. Players now are like fucking cracked, bro. They're way better than they used to be, just on average.
For certain things in an online environment,
you get filtered out pretty quickly
that you can't really
if you're
beat
not
them,
good at the game.
right? That's what gets me about modern fighting games. That's what gets me super salty. I always say if I lose in a modern fighting game, but I learned something, I was outplayed, I was tricked, I was mixed up and fooled, and now that's a tactic that I can learn later on and adapt my gameplay to, then I don't care that I lost. At least I learned something with that loss. But when you lose because someone's doing the same fucking thing over and over and over and over and over and over, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? The game won't give me an opportunity to react. I'm playing online, so already my reactions are going to be slower. And when I'm trying to do something around it, it just keeps fucking coming out, hit me. What do you want me to do?
This is all a scrub
where
quote.
my salt comes from with modern fighting games. I don't care about losing. I care about losing and learning nothing because it seems like a brainless idiot on the other side was just going dur, dur, dur over and over. And it's such an abusable tactic online. So
I love the dur, dur tactic.
I don't actually know. I think he's going to probably analyze it differently only because this might apply more to offline play as well. I haven't played a fighting game offline in so long. I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, he's live. I'm late. Oh, shit.
It resulted in the possibility of me losing a critical item that I needed to continue to use one of my characters. At this point, this seems like me ranting about the game in the end game has become a regular occurrence. I can totally understand if you're not interested.
Baldur's
Gate.
Gate.
If you are, stick around because I've got a lot to say on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Oh, God. He did the intro thing. Okay, let's go. We're moving on. Yeah, he lost an item in Baldur's Gate, by the way. So, big ups.
The commentary I do about fighting games is online play, right? Offline, it could be a totally different situation. But let's just watch a little bit of this before we get to the next. But let's see what he has to say about it.
All right, he hit us with the short one at least. Let's go. Never mind. I guess we're starting now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 26th of March, 2024. I am Phil I am. And I am here.
What?
And it is time for the show. We are continuing on with our humongous push to finish RPG Overload. Oh, excuse me.
Yo, King B. Krill, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for staying a member. Hello? Bernal, what's
RPG Overload.
Oh, okay.
And doing my absolute best, okay, to basically finish up Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The good news is we are on pace to finish these games this week. In fact, if we stay at the same pacing that we've been at, I'll probably beat them both on Friday. And I know that's crazy. Like, wait, what? It's going to be perfect timing to finish them both on Friday? Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
All right? But let me tell you guys.
Hey, Grazing Poro, big ups, dude.
Again,
Thank you so much.
Me, I'm honest. I'm not a butt kisser, but I also don't irrationally hate things.
You know him. He's honest.
The further we go into Baldur's Gate 3 Endgame, the more I dislike this game. All right? And this is a game that I understand is something that attempted to do something probably never done in any kind of an RPG before. It tried to make an unmatched, insane amount of quantity while still maintaining a certain level of production value and quality in a retail gaming experience. You know, this is not a game that you paid $400 to play, although some people might very well say that's a justified price tag for the amount of content in the game.
DL5, thank you so much, dude. Staying a member. Thank you so much.
But man, after yesterday's stream, the entire stream was like a comedy of errors. And as much as I'd like to admit that sometimes I'm the one making the mistakes, yesterday was just atrocious. Okay? Simply using game mechanics that have worked the entirety of the game led to failure and disaster. Bugs, glitches, horrible design choices, frozen characters, screens teleporting back and forth between two rooms when I wasn't even in a room involved in something. It was just nonsense. Okay? And it all culminated at the very end of that session with me ultimately looking to lose a legendary weapon that is essential for the build of my character Karlach, and if it doesn't exist anymore, basically she's going to be nearly worthless. All right? Because there's really no way to replace that weapon. Did I do something wrong to deserve
Playing
that?
on normal, by the way.
It's just a wonky game engine. And that's sad. Because a game with this many moving parts, there's so much to keep track of. I can understand when every once in a while something goes wrong. In fact, I can understand if, like, every third of the time something random happens and you're not expecting it. But...
Can you, though?
When you're in the end game...
I don't get it.
And you have a situation...
Like, he says that, and then he's just going to complain about everything that's happening as if it's the biggest deal ever. Thank you.
$2 from Lord Kane 666. Why he can't admit that he's trash. Cope segment?
Exactly, Lord Kane. This is all just going to be, look, the game bugged, therefore the game is bad. He's just going to shit on the game.
Where you've built a character over the course of 130 hours. And everything you've done has worked towards this character's build. And basically this character is so good, they've single-handedly been the reason you have won endgame challenging boss fights like the Raphael fight. And then to say, oh, we just decided in this particular fight, there's going to be a random variable that's going to cause chaos. And now an item will literally be yeeted from existence. Finger snapped out of the...
What the fuck? Did he say yeeted?
Item will literally be yeeted from existence.
Yeeted.
Finger snapped out of the game engine. Is completely unacceptable. You know, last week I ranted about a character in my party leaving and taking all his equipment with him. Now you can argue that's the result of my choices in the game. Fair enough. I just don't like the way that he walks out of the game with no way to get those items back and no opportunity to even know that he's about to leave. In this case, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just the game engine that's causing me strife, and it looks like at the very end of the game is going to screw me over, and now we've got to pull a last-minute audible to figure out how to remedy the situation. In fact, it's so funny, because literally right now, no one can concretely tell me what actually happened, nor is anyone sure if that spear actually exists or not in the game world. A lot of people are under the impression it's gone, and others are like, maybe it's hidden. So we got to try to figure this out as we play today. It's just a mess. And the fact is, for a game that is supposed to be Game of the Year, for a game that's supposed to be adhering to a very strict rule set of D&D, it shouldn't be a variable. We don't know what happened. It should be very distinct and easy to figure out what happened, and it's not.
Like, this is a 2-minute complaint session where you're like, fuck, the game just disappeared my weapon. Whoa, that's crazy. What a game bug. Just load your save, dude. Load the fucking save or shut the fuck up. Honestly. Really, if you're going to complain this much.
And that's a problem.
Come on, man.
Okay? So.
That's crazy.
Today, we are going to talk all about yesterday's disaster stream of Baldur's Gate 3 and how the comedy of errors built up to the ultimate fumble and now what to do moving forward. Good news is we're in the final hour, right? It's in the we're running to the end zone. We're almost there. We're going to finish this game in just a few days, and then finally we'll be done with it. We can say enough, because I'll be honest, like, I've enjoyed the game. There's no way I would have played a game for 130 plus hours if I wasn't overall enjoying myself. I want to make that clear. But I also feel like this game basically got an insane amount of passes when other games would have been judged very harshly for the problems that this game has, because there was this humongous hype behind it for whatever reason. And I don't know, because actually I'm not into...
Thanks for the skip juice.
$2 from Zodsky. All he had to do was highlight items, lol.
Oh, for real? It was on the ground and he just didn't pick it up or something? Are you serious? Is that really what it is? Are you fucking kidding me?
D&D. I'm not into Larian Studios games or this style of game. So I actually don't know where the hype came from. All right? I respect the game for a lot of the things it's trying to do, making essentially the longest retail game possible. I don't think I've ever played a video game before where I paid regular retail price and got this much content out of it, right? And it's not rehashed fetch quests. It's not go grind against 1,000 goblins. It's all unique. That's a huge undertaking and a huge accomplishment, in my opinion.
He's still going to find a way to shit on it.
I'm sorry. I do feel like this game is overhyped, is overpraised.
Oh, my God.
It has these wonky problems, these jankiness to the game engine. The problem that it's just so complex. Again, it's so many moving parts that at some point you have to understand that when something goes wrong, it's just not fun anymore. And that's the point I'm at, like, after yesterday.
Thank you for the skip juice yet again, Wesley. Thank you so much.
$5 from Wesley H. The ultimate fumble? Yeah, I'd call fumbling Panda a pretty big fumble.
And by the way, Cat agrees with me.
I'd have to agree there.
I'm at my wit's
end. Cat does too. Thank you, Wesley.
I just want it to end.
That's
so we can say it's done. I've done it. Move on. And that's not good. You shouldn't have that feeling when you've invested 130 hours into a game that won Game of the Year. You shouldn't have a feeling of incredible exhaustion.
Dude, thank you guys so much.
$5 from President Tanaka.
Thank you,
Considering that he leaves his console on 24/7 and never cleans it, this one is kinda on him.
Yeah, I actually don't know what even happened, so I'm curious to hear him say. This is a lot of build-up for what he's about to say. So it's got to be good, right? You would think. Thank you, President Tanaka.
And just wanting to move on at the end of it. And I do.
Shoutouts to
and that's my
Priscilla.
honest take. And listen, I'm sure there's tons of people out there who don't have that feeling or never did during the course of playing the game. I can only share with you my thoughts from my personal experience. This game fell apart in the third act. It really did. Like, there's so many problems we've had in this third act, and this is just the icing on the cake now. That it's hard to recommend someone invest this much time into a game that at the end can ruin you because it decides to. You know what I mean?
The game can ruin you.
Let's talk about it, all right? Let's go ahead and discuss the stream from yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Just to get this out of the way, here's the schedule for the week. Today, tomorrow, and Friday. Baldur's Gate 3, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, with the intention of beating the games. I'm not here Thursday. It's my day off from streaming. My intention is to wrap these up, hopefully, by Friday night. So that way, just Alone in the Dark, which I'm actually very interested in now, and I think you guys would enjoy. A lot of people are like, yeah, survival horror is up your alley. We want to see it. Or maybe going back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay, please stop.
Essentially, I feel like we are definitely ready to move on. And that's why I need to push to finish these games. Okay? So that's just the schedule.
Please end the schedule.
Okay, just so you guys know.
Thank you. Thank you.
$1.99 from Ramen Brandon.
Thank you so much,
He
man.
is just looking for a way to puppy on the
Exactly.
game.
He's just going to shit on it for about 20 to 25 minutes. That's all he's going to do.
Be doing anything.
Ramen.
$2 from ES.
Thank you,
Cat
ES.
bursts into the room when Phil mentions cake.
And by the way, Kat agrees with me.
Look at this guy. He looks so depressed.
That's her busting in the room.
Oh my god, I hate my job so much.
Thanks for the cake, Phil. You look so depressed. Thank you so much.
Crazy or anything.
Thank you, ES.
We just need to finish these games, then we move on to new stuff. I know. I played Dragon's Dogma 2 on Friday when it came out for one day, and I haven't touched it since, and I can't until we finish these games. All right? Okay, so I don't really need to go too crazy here talking about the schedule. You know what it is, okay? Now,
holy shit, you actually shortened it.
let's go very briefly through yesterday's stream of Baldur's Gate 3, okay? First things first, we finished up the Iron Throne quest line.
Grazing Portal
right
with
off
10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, man.
I'm getting too much money.
The bomb alert is fucked. Okay.
Well,
thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Because I didn't really get a reward for it. Like, I saved everyone inside the Iron Throne prison, including Duke Ravengard, including, what was it, Amalum, the Mind Flayer, the friendly Mind Flayer, including all of the gnomes and the other prisoners that were in there. And I'm like, so I'm definitely going to get a great reward because I basically did it flawlessly. I got nothing. Wow, thanks for that. Thanks for one of the most anxiety-inducing parts of the game, literally not rewarding me in any way for it.
But you saved everybody.
Then we went to go to Amalum's group, which we never even knew that they had a building in Baldur's Gate before. Okay. And he basically rewards you with a bunch of items that are completely worthless at the end of the game. So why they would hand those to you, I have no idea. We loot the house, and there's nothing in the house either. There's actually a big safe in a hidden room. It's empty. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. So then, we went...
Whoops. No, YouTube. What the fuck?
Went to Steelwatch, okay? And, man, right off the bat, we have problems. So I'm trying to sneak into Steelwatch. And the game's guard aggroes, not to my main character, but to Lae'zel, for no reason, because the game should always aggro to your party leader. I don't care about positioning. I don't care about that bullshit.
What?
Because that's just dumb shit. When you're playing an RPG, your party leader should be the one involved in any dialogue options, period. I don't care about their rationale. It's just bad game design, okay? So it picks Lae'zel. Well, can't do the check because Lae'zel doesn't have any speech check, ability. So let's reload. So we reload, and then we do it again, and this time Darkscale Phil gets detected. I pass the speech check, which says, oh, the guard lets you in, and then the guard immediately aggroes to me again and does exactly the same speech check a second time. And I'm like, I passed the speech check. Why is the guard acting like I didn't do it, and now we have to do it again? It doesn't make any sense. It's a game bug. So we have to fight the guard. I kill the guard, and we get inside.
Okay.
So that's bug number 1, by the way. We get inside, and there's a room full of people talking, okay? And I'm like, listen, now, in the entirety of this game, if you use stealth, you can sneak by entire encounters, entire situations. You can skip fights. Just use stealth. So I said, I'm going to use the same mechanic I've used the whole game, and it's always worked. No reason to think it wouldn't here, okay? I actually sneak by the entire room of people. It's a mix of, like, slaves and enemies and everything in there, okay? And I go to the next room, and I go into a room where already there's combat. It looks like the gnomes or dwarves or whoever they are fighting the guards. So a fight ensues. Okay, well, they see me. All right, we're going to fight. But what happens is the game decided, again, what great coding here and what great writing. There was supposed to be a conversation that was supposed to happen in the room before that's tied to the story of the Steelwatch Foundry. So because I skipped it, the game decides now to initiate 2 fights at once in 2 different rooms. Despite the fact none of my party is in that first room, the camera decides it's going to jump back and forth between people in 2 completely different rooms, making the camera go light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. Now, again, if it were me screwing up, right? That would be one thing. What if I aggroed in the first room and then I aggroed in the second room, my party was split? That's happened before in the playthrough, and now I kind of understand why that happened. I didn't do that. The game just decided, oh, there was a conversation you were supposed to psychically know about in the first room tied to the story. You shouldn't skip it. If
what
you
is
do,
the problem?
now a fight ensues, but you're also in another fight, so now there's 2 fights going on at once. Basically, the game becomes completely unplayable.
So he got spotted, and so the enemy saw him, and they were in another room, so the camera would go to them. What's the problem?
Because what happens is the turns bar glitched, and it had turns appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing endlessly. It wouldn't even settle. It was just like wobbling around all fucked up.
What?
And I started playing, and people were like,
he's exaggerating.
You just got to reload. This thing is going nuts, and it doesn't look like it's even working right.
Thank you, Wesley.
$5 from Wesley H. A room full of slaves, doesn't he mean a room full of editors?
Hey, they volunteered now, okay? They're voluntary slaves, okay, Wesley?
All right, so I'll reload it, right?
Thank you, man.
So that's bug number 2. Sorry, and you guys say, well, that's not a bug. Well, it is, because nowhere else in the game does this occur, where you have a required conversation in the room before, you cannot skip with stealth, and then it creates 2 fights in 2 separate rooms going on at the same time, with the camera juggling back and forth. It shouldn't happen like that. So either it's bad coding, or it's a game bug. You call it whatever you want. It's a problem. So that's like major problem number 2.
Maybe it's an
of the
oversight.
stream, okay? Load. And I said, well, I guess I got to go engage with the first group of people, because if I don't, it's going to screw up if I skip and go to the second. So I engage with the first group of people, big fight. I save everyone in the room. Literally, I saved every single slave that was there.
Nice, dude.
Good. So now they're all on my side. And one of them actually says, hey, I have the ability to disable the foundry. Get me into that final room, and I'll do it for you. Okay, sounds good. But I need to long rest before we do that, because I've already had 2 fights. Let's long rest. So we walk outside, we long rest. We come back. That person has disappeared from the universe. Where the fuck did they go? Why are they not here? I don't know. You tell me. Does it make sense that they would be there waiting for me? I go long rest, I come back, they've just vanished. Everyone else in the room is still there. Just the one person I need who's critical to the story in the Steel Foundry has disappeared. So now people are looking it up online and say, oh, he's at your camp. Why? Why did he follow me to camp? He's in the world. Everyone else stayed in the world. Why did he follow me to camp?
Because he's
important.
Make sense. He's important to the story.
Go get him. Okay, I go to my camp. He is there. I talk to him. Come with me. Okay, we go back to the world.
What?
He glitches. He literally gets stuck. He won't walk. He won't talk. He just stands there like a fucking statue, completely uninteractable. I'm holding down the button that does the area.
$2 from Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Jesus.
Is the opposite of big ups, little downs. LD4 Phil.
Little downs for Phil. Let's go. Little downs.
Selection. He can't even be
that
selected.
Sounds wrong.
It's like he's there, but he does not exist. So guess what? That option to complete the quest has been removed from my game because the game glitched out. That's bug number 3. That's 3 already. We're not even halfway through the stream yet.
Wow.
3 huge critical bugs happening in the game within like an hour and a half period. Okay? So I said, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Now I have a bomb to blow this place up. I don't want to do that. In fact, the game kind of leaned towards don't do that. That's a bad karma choice, because if you do that, you can end up hurting people. All right? So I'm like, I don't want to do that, but I guess that's the only option I have now because the guy's glitched. He won't come shut it down. So I guess we got to do this. So we end up going back into the next room, which is the room where we tried to fight, and it generated the 2-room fight that was all bugged out. We fight that fight, we win. A few people sadly died in that fight, and there was nothing I could really do about it because the robots are self-destructing, and I can't just save everybody. But we did pretty good.
I saved everybody, dude. Come on.
Okay, let's go ahead and go into the final room. Big boss, excellent,
good
fight.
It.
I kicked its ass. You know, my lightning is like ultra powered now. And all right, so we're at the final part. And here's the thing that says bring the guy to it for him to deactivate it. So I go to try to get him. He just won't. I tried reloading everything. Nothing. He's just frozen forever. He's just bugged in the game universe literally forever. He won't move.
Oh, no.
So I said, I guess I got to use the bomb. So luckily, because I had done what I had done, meaning I had done the Iron Throne first, the workers had revolted against their captors, and everyone who I had rescued...
Oh, we're live.
$2 from Joshua Doughty. Bugs on the floor, bugs everywhere.
Shoot him in the face because they on the fucking flow. Let's go. Thank you so much, Joshua.
5. If I hadn't done Iron Throne first and I blew up the foundry, everyone would have died, and that's the bad karma. You see? So...
All right, get to the point. So what the fuck is this build-up, man?
Track what becomes what outcome. I had no idea what the outcome was. I was
all
trying to do
this
one
just to say I lost my weapon. This is all this is.
Done it this way anyway. If I had known that, maybe I wouldn't have cared about the guy bugging out. But it never should have happened to begin with. Okay.
Okay. Whatever.
So we blow up the foundry. Actually, we get a really cool quest completion where all these factors from the game factor in. Basically, the iron. What is it? The iron gnomes. Get their big reward, or not reward, but their big like end game plot. And I was like, oh, that was actually a cool outcome. I liked that outcome, because if I hadn't done all these other things during the game, I wouldn't have gotten that quest outcome, and I actually really liked it. Okay, so in reality, even with all these bugs that really were annoying as shit, at least I got to a good quest outcome.
I think he named one bug.
Now the only thing left to do next is let's go take out Gortash. All right, And immediately I get some advice. I think it was actually Dark Gaming. He says, well, if you go in the front door, everything's going to aggro to you. Now, the good news is the steel watch is deactivated, so the robots won't attack you. But if you go in the front door, all the other guards are going to aggro to you. I said, well, you know what? I had actually found a back way in much earlier on. The first time we had gone to this worm fort castle, whatever the hell it's called,
Carl.
We had found a back way up a ladder. I was like, maybe that's what that's actually for, right?
In case you're lost and confused and afraid, I'm here for you. This guy is going to complain that he lost a weapon. That's what this long-winded rant is for. I don't even know what he's talking about anymore. He's just summarizing everything.
I didn't even know that.
Like, bro, just get to the complaint.
Too many moving parts, too many factors, too many things to know or remember. So I had a little bit of an error there where I split my party up. I'll take the blame for that one because it's just lack of knowledge of the game. Okay?
Right.
But then we finally get to the back of the building.
hours
we crawl up the ladder.
Lack of
we go
knowledge.
inside. There's no enemies whatsoever in line of sight. I'm trying to use, like, basically kind of like sneak around. Immediately we get detected and a fight ensues. There's no one there. There's literally no one there, no one looking at me. I had the line of sight activated and no one saw me in line of sight and the game aggroed to me anyway. Now you can argue maybe you just didn't see it. You're right, maybe I didn't. But I was being careful. I was trying to be stealthy. That was the whole point of me going in the back.
Yeah,
now I've
Dwight.
got an extra fight I got to do because the game's being stupid about it. All right? Whatever. We beat the fight, blah, blah, blah. We get to the Gortash boss fight. Okay? The Gortash boss fight is, in my opinion, and now I'm 133 plus hours into this game, the most unnecessarily complex fight in the whole game.
What is that?
And I've
even
had
mean?
fights that were puzzles, and I've had fights that there was a million enemies. This fight has far too many factors to the point where it's impossible for you to actually focus on what you're doing because there's a million things going on. There's flame traps and turrets on the walls that are constantly shooting grenades and fire. There's a force field on Gortash that protects him from damage, that reflects projectiles, and there's two pieces of machinery on the wall that apparently make the field work, but it's not clear how or what you need to do to attack those things. And the room is full of other enemies as well. Gortash, of course, isn't a normal enemy. He's a boss, so now he's got all these special abilities and things you've never even seen before, okay? So immediately you start to read the descriptions of everything, and you're like, okay, so this is resistant to this. This has projectiles that will bounce off of this. This is going to absorb this damage. It's going to reflect this damage. It's highly resistant to this damage, but it's weak to this damage. You got to sit in this fight for 10 minutes before you can even make a move, all right?
Okay.
That's not fun.
Okay, so I'm going to buy some skip juice here. This motherfucker, look at his face, by the way. Holy so punchable. This guy just doesn't like the game. The easiest thing to wrap up this whole segment is just, I don't like the game. That's it. I don't see why this is a problem. People do enjoy the fighting in the game. I was one of them. That's something that I enjoyed doing. It's like a fun tactical thing to do. But he can't just say he doesn't like it. He has to imply that it's bad because he doesn't like it.
I'm sorry, it's not.
It's not just that he doesn't like it. It's bad because he doesn't like it. It's badly designed.
It's frustrating, especially when you're at the end of the stream and you just want to finish this.
Yes, the game developers should have considered you being at the end of your stream when they designed the game.
Why the fuck do I have to sit here and study this room for 10 minutes to figure out what the fuck's going on? It's way too complicated.
Right.
You know, I get it. Okay, it's one of the big three bosses before the end of the game. It's still annoying. I'm sorry, I can't enjoy that because it's too complicated. I don't want to sit there studying like I'm a fucking scholar of D&D to do a simple fight.
Toxicity.
Right? So it was very annoying to me.
You have to be a scholar to play the game.
Basically, as I start, okay, it just becomes a shit show. That's like the best way I can describe it. So both Darkscale Phil and Karlak are based solely on projectile gameplay. Well, guess what? Everyone in this room is immune to projectiles. It bounces them back. Okay? So immediately I use Karlak and I throw the spear, this is the big thing that we're going to be freaking out about now. So what is it called? Nirasha? I can't remember the name of the spear. It's incredibly rare. You can only get it in one tiny situation. Nirulna. Okay. Nirulna. That's the name of the spear. Nirulna. Okay? It's a legendary spear. You actually get it.
Yes.
When you first arrive, in the area of Baldur's Gate, the outskirts, there's that fair or like circus going on. Not circus, it's like a festival. And in there's a genie. And the genie, if you piss him off, he warps you to a dinosaur land. And if you complete the dinosaur land, you get this spear as a reward at the end in a chest. Okay? Incredibly rare. This spear is meant to be thrown. And when you throw it, if it successfully connects with an enemy, it creates an area of effect range of thunder damage. So it's cool because, number one, unlike other thrown items, it's guaranteed area of effect damage if it connects, and it can hit a whole group of enemies, okay?
Okay.
Number two, it stacks regular and thunder damage. So you're
Do we
getting
really
this, like,
need this? Do we need this? Come on. Do we need it?
The enemy she hit.
Shut
this
up.
has helped tremendously in my game where there have been hard to reach enemies and bosses, and I teleport them right into my team, and now they're screwed. They get beat up because there now has a thing that's called Frenzied Throw. This adds a chance to make the enemy go prone.
Fucking
So
God,
if it hits
bros,
and they go
it's
prone, now
over.
they're knocked down, and essentially they can't do their turn.
He's
and it makes it
explaining the
endless loop where the enemy
game.
really can't do
Like
anything.
the
If you just keep
gameplay of
hitting
the
them with this
weapon.
Turn after turn after turn.
Really, dude?
Basically, the enemy's like almost stun locked. And that's how I actually beat the Raphael boss earlier in the game. He couldn't do shit. He just got teleported and stun locked, and he just was like a pussy, which is hilarious because everyone says one of the hardest fights in the game, and I just slapped him around with this strategy. Okay?
Oh, that's why he's so angry. He can't cheese the game anymore. Okay, makes sense. Big up.
So, pretty good. In addition to that, I recently, at the end of my build of Karlach, got this ability called, I think it's a feat called Tavern Brawler. And that just makes throwable items even better. All right? So basically, she's crazy good. This throwable spear, Nirulna, big area of effect damage, buffed with all of her abilities, and she can teleport enemies around. Super duper good, right?
Right.
Now, here's the problem.
Okay, finally.
I don't understand that a thrown item like that is considered a projectile. Like, I would think a projectile would be like a magic spell, like magic missile, right? Or you're shooting a lightning bolt, you're throwing a fireball. That's a projectile to me. I'm not thinking a projectile is a legendary weapon, but that's on me, right? Totally.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Yes.
That if I didn't understand that was going to be a projectile, all right? I even said, let's try it. And it's hilarious. I throw it. It just goes bink right off his force field, comes right back at her. Oh, bonk. Hits her right in the face. It's funny as hell. Like, all right, well, I gave it a shot. It didn't work. But now ensues, all right, the comedy of errors that this game did in this fight. So eventually what ends up happening
The game did it, by the way.
The spear lands on the ground. For some reason.
Yeah?
Karlach drops the spear.
It hit her in the face, you said, right? So she dropped it.
I think it was because, again, I threw it at an enemy. It was a regular enemy, not Gortash. And they also had the projectile ability. And here's what happened. I actually watched it back, and I know exactly what happened. So as I told you, when you do Frenzied Throw, which is her Karlach's special ability, there's a chance that it will knock the enemy down and make them go prone. I threw the spear at an enemy. It bounced off their force field, came back at Karlach, hit her with the Frenzied Throw, and it knocked her down. So because she fell, she couldn't catch the spear. But it actually is its own contradictory logic, and here's why.
Why?
Per the game's logic, if the spear connects, she auto-catches it. That's how it works. If the spear connects with any enemy or any person, she catches the spear back. That's how the return spear gameplay mechanic works in Baldur's Gate 3. Okay? So just by logic alone, even if she hit herself with a move, she should auto-catch the spear because it connected. But the game says, oh, well, in this case, she hit herself with her own move that caused her to go prone. So even though in this case she should catch the spear, cancel out that line of logic and just make her fall and the spear hits the ground.
That
makes absolutely no sense.
It makes complete sense to me.
Perspective, it doesn't. They just arbitrarily
what the fuck are you talking
in this
about?
case, erase this line. Even though this is how it works the whole game, in this case, just erase this line of code in this certain random, very rare situation, and there's no way you would ever know that.
I don't know, guys. That made 100% sense to me the way he just described it. I don't get it.
Our own judgment call to say erase this outcome, even though it happens every other time because we feel like it. It's crap. It's bad. It's not logical at all. By logic standards, spear connects. Karlach catches it. Don't care if she went prone or not. She should still have the spear in her hand. Nope, the game just fucks up.
It's so dumb for him to say by a logic's standard, because if you really want to break it down this autistically, she got hit with her own spear and got knocked down. You really think she's gonna catch it? Like, logically, realistically, meaningfully? Are you fucking stupid?
Like, okay, whatever you say.
Idiot.
All right, that's bullshit.
God damn,
so
man.
now the spear is on the floor. Karlach has no weapon. Luckily for me, I have other things I can throw, but I want that goddamn spear back, right? First of all, that's her whole build. And if I don't get that spear back, she's basically going to be kind of worthless for the rest of the playthrough. So now the spear's on the ground. So what am I going to do? I know what I'm going to do.
Roll
you can
back.
pick items up off the ground and throw them. Okay. So again, I use what do you call it? Frenzied throw. Okay, you can do that to either throw something from your inventory or pick something up from the environment and throw it. It shouldn't change the properties of the frenzied throw. It shouldn't change the properties of the item. It should still work. Okay, now at this point, I believe that the shield was down. Gortash's shield was down by luck. What had happened was I was using Shadowheart.
Oh my God.
Used her Sunbeam.
I don't care.
And I was trying to chance start coming back. I'm like, oh shit, I can't believe this, right?
Okay, cool.
So
get on
I
with
said,
it.
The shield's down. Now's my chance. If I can stun lock Gortash, we're gonna win this fight, even though we were on the ropes. So I have Karlach get up, walk across the room, pick the spear up as an environmental object off the ground, which should now technically make it an object in her inventory, but apparently who knows how they code this fucking game, right? She throws the spear.
Wait.
The spear hits Gortash. The spear hits her. The spear hits everyone in an area of effect and makes everyone go prone. And the spear disappears from the game world. Completely. Just gone.
Wait, what? Did it break or something?
And I said, where is it? Not on the floor. It's not in her inventory. It didn't blow across the room. It's literally erased. Okay? Now, there's all these theories that people are trying to come up with and try to explain it away.
Theories?
But I don't think there's a theory that's going to be correct. I just think their coding is bad. I think that this entire idea of throwing objects was never refined enough. And because of that, it's always janky. People have outright said this. Just listen to this. Right. If you're in stealth, so you haven't engaged in a combat yet, you're not in fighting, and you throw the spear, even if it connects, it doesn't go back to her. It lands on the floor. Why? The whole idea is that she throws this spear, and it's a returnable spear if it connects with the enemy.
Maybe it happens in combat
that's
only.
A game bug, that it should return to her, but they've never fixed it.
That's not a game bug. That's an oversight. That seems like an oversight, not a game bug.
Everyone just works around it. No one uses throwable objects out of cover or out of stealth because they know that they're not going to return. It's fucked up. So if that's fucked up, okay.
They suck at coding, dude.
Obviously, there's going to be other stuff that's fucked up as well, right? So the whole mechanic shouldn't exist if it's not refined enough to not be a janky, wonky, not consistent thing. If it's a mess, don't put it in the fucking game.
All right.
But they didn't care. They said, we're going to put
it in.
They
didn't care. The notorious Baldur's Gate devs don't care.
Are going to have issues with...
They don't give a shit.
Game mechanics like this. And it's stupid. Because the game mechanic is great. As it worked, it was amazing. She's one of the best characters in the whole game when she has this build. And now, the one item that made this build work, right, disappears from the game. Now, I have a theory about this, okay? I want you to understand something. I actually don't blame this on D&D at all.
Oh my God.
Because in D&D, now correct me if I'm wrong, and you guys are going to know better than me.
All right.
In Dungeons and Dragons, there's a dungeon master, correct? So a situation happens where something kind of breaks. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? If there's a problem, then the dungeon master would fix it, correct? Like the dungeon master is kind of like God behind the scenes, omnipotent, and can try to resolve issues and things that don't seem to make sense. Because let's be honest, when you have something with this many moving parts, D&D has been around for a zillion years.
Okay,
correct?
Is this relevant?
And so I'm sure there's so many addendums and new things that have been added to D&D over the years. Maybe not all of them jive and fit together. Like puzzle pieces, they don't exactly fit right. So is it not the dungeon master's job to kind of resolve those issues? And if that's the case, then that makes sense. Right? But I mean, again, if I'm wrong, correct me, but there has to be like a ruling body on this stuff when you're playing D&D because it wouldn't always fit, right? There might be issues that need to be resolved. There is no dungeon master playing a video game.
Whoa, I thought there was.
That's the problem. So this obviously is a situation. There is absolutely no situation whatsoever where this spear should just be yeeted from the game.
Okay, so the way he described it, he picked it up off the ground, so it wasn't even in his inventory. It didn't count as an item in his inventory. That's why it didn't return to him. And apparently it was on the ground. People are saying it was on the ground. He just didn't highlight the ground to see the item.
up into space or into another dimension, or maybe it got shoved up Gortash's ass and you can't get it out. I don't know where it is. I don't care. It shouldn't have happened. Even if the spear, again,
ass joke,
didn't connect properly and missed or whatever, which it didn't. It did connect. It hit everybody. It should still land on the floor again. We literally just saw that a turn before when it bounced off of someone, came back and hit Karlach. She fell and the spear landed on the ground. Right? So why on the holy hell, the second time that the second thing happened again, did it have a different outcome? Bad coding.
Bad coding.
It's the only explanation. The whole throwable objects thing in this game
That's
is fucked
what?
up.
It's the only explanation? What? Occam's razor. Yes, bad coding.
And it shouldn't even be a build. It shouldn't be an option unless they were going to refine it and fix it. This game's been out since September.
He's really trying to get you to believe that?
This game has been out more than half a year. They had ample time to fix this. But if you haven't heard,
Project 7?
Larian already made their announcement. Okay? Their announcement is, we are not doing DLCs for Baldur's Gate. We are not making Baldur's Gate 4. We're moving on to other projects. We're done with this. We're wiping our hands of it.
Yeah.
So they're done with this. They don't give a shit.
They didn't say they're not going to patch
this
it.
This is something that absolutely should be fixed, and I doubt they ever will, because I bet you're not going to see many or any real improvements moving forward. They made their big announcement, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll do the right thing and continue to go back and fix things like this. But this is awful, all right? 130 hours played. A build specific to this weapon that works and has beaten big-ass endgame bosses, and now I'm going to be cheated out of it.
Guys, the worst part of this is he can just load his save. That's what makes this extra fucking annoying, is that he can just load his save.
Because the game doesn't work. This was not an error on my part. This is not, I didn't understand
this is a
that
stupid
Astarion was going to leave my party and take my items with it, and I'm crying over it, you know. This is a situation
dumbest
where
shit ever.
The game's coding's fucked up. An item finger snapped off the planet, and I'm just supposed to swallow that? No, absolutely not. I have the right to voice my opinion and to tell you this game is a buggy, janky mess at the end. It's funny because other parts of the game haven't been like this, but I'll tell you, since I got to Act 3, it's just been like increasing amount of these kind of problems every time I play. And it's like, all right, I'll forgive this one. All right, I'll forgive this one. I literally had like 7 in a row yesterday. And at that point, I got to put my foot down and be like, it's fucked
7
up.
in a row.
Right?
He described one, by the way. He described one potential glitch. The guy was frozen and one wasn't moving.
You might say, well,
7 glitches.
It's probably on the ground. No, I searched. Watch the video from yesterday. I did the area search. You hold down X and it does the circle on the ground. It's not there. I finished the fight, by the way. I beat Gortash.
He didn't even highlight.
It's just
gone.
gone.
My God.
All right? Now, what's funny is some people are like,
he used area search and he didn't activate the highlight prompt where you can see all the items around you.
Threads about this.
Are you
and
fucking
some people have
kidding
complained
me?
about exactly the same thing. Even some people have complained about the exact thing in that fight. Okay? And some people said, just listen to this. Oh, I found it randomly in an enemy's inventory, but the enemy never picked it up. It's just there. What? Other people have said it was on the ground, but invisible. Other people have said it was randomly in another character's inventory in their party for no good reason. Huh? Okay? So what we got to do when we boot up today is we have to try to fuck around with the game. Maybe just by reloading, it'll be there.
Oh my
Maybe.
God, no
But if I
shit,
continue
you
to play, that means I
fucking
lose the item forever.
dumbass.
Right?
What the
it doesn't
fuck
make any
is
fucking
wrong
sense.
with this
right? Like I said,
dude?
I did
Oh my God.
area search, and it's not on
Maybe
the floor.
if
So
I
some people are like,
reload, it'll
"That's
be
fine."
there.
It's literally not there. I've tried. So maybe it is in his inventory. Why would it be in his inventory? Like I said, did it literally get stuck up his ass when I threw it? And so it's like attached to him now? It doesn't really make much sense at all. All right?
All right. Cool.
Basically, I really, 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 really hope that spear's in there. Because if not, my Karlach will not be essentially viable for the end game. I mean, I have another spear that returns when you throw it, but it's not that good. It's very weak. So that, and it doesn't do the force damage. It doesn't do the area of effect, so it's not going to be that good. I think I have a legendary spear that has light ability, like the
all right, did I ask though? Like, did I
legendary
ask?
spear out of existence? Like, no, we want to finish
Ask
the game.
me if I care about
right?
this shit, because I don't give
So
a shit.
okay, some people. This is good news. I'm being told no. Larian did not say they're going to wipe their hands of Baldur's Gate 3. They have committed to
Nice.
continuously improving.
Me when I spread false information online.
For now, for the foreseeable future. So that's good. And, you know, I want to know that information. So that's good. Fix the fucking spear. In fact, how about this? Larian Studios, everyone who's working there at Larian Studios, there's a matter of utmost importance that you must resolve immediately. Okay, I want you to step away from your computers, put down your coffees, get out of your big boardroom meetings, your dev team meetings. I want you to all listen.
You're so
Immediately,
funny.
you must put down everything you're doing. and you must return to work, and you must code my spear back into my game specifically. It is of the utmost importance that you drop everything in your lives. If you're on the toilet taking a shit right now, pinch it off, get your pants up, don't even wipe, get right to your workstations right now, and get this fucking spear back into my inventory. This I demand.
Jesus Christ.
All right? Let's get to work. Enough is enough. This is unfair, all right? Listen, I paid 130 hours of your goddamn game. I want my fucking spear. I've had enough of this shit.
This dude's hilarious, man. He's the prettiest girl in school. It's time to get a real job in his chat, by the way.
But, yeah, this is pretty silly and stupid.
It's bad.
I mean, I want to tell you guys, here's the thing. I really feel like in the modern gaming universe, too many things get fanboyism behind it, okay? Particularly, one of the hugest things is Nintendo. It's like, oh, Nintendo shit doesn't stink. Everything Nintendo does is great. And in reality, we all agree, I think, kind of behind the scenes, outside of the realm of the Nintendo fanboys who own every one of these, right?
He pulls
we
out
all
an
agree that
amiibo.
Nintendo makes a lot of missteps and mistakes, but somehow they always just get forgiven and continue to be successful regardless of all the mistakes that they make, right? Why? Fanboyism. Because the fanboys run out there and just blindly defend every action that they do, buy every piece of things that they sell, so it's like they're above reproach, right? In this case, with all...
Imagine complaining about fanboys at age 42.
the things I heard about Baldur's Gate 3, that I have to play a game of a generation and yada, 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 right? I do feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is an anomaly. I have never in my life played a video game that provided this much content of this quality level for the price that they provided it for. It's almost like weird. And I understand
it's almost
why
like
the game
weird.
devs last year were like, don't expect all of us to follow suit. It's unfair for us to do the same that they've done. I mean, the incredible amount of content in this game is bang for your buck if I've ever seen it. Like, this game's playthrough is equivalent to like my Skyrim playthrough last year, including all the DLCs. And this doesn't have any DLCs. You know what I'm saying? So
That doesn't mean anything, though. You take forever to play games. It doesn't mean anything.
What baffles me is that it is apparent this game is not fully refined, has a lot of issues, particularly in Act 3, and no one talks about that. Everyone's like, best game ever, game of the year. I really would love statistics on this. How many people who bought this fucking game got to Act 3 to even say something like that? I would guarantee you half the fucking games
I don't understand how he can have a game bug, quote unquote, a game bug, and then say Act 3 sucks because of a specific situation that he experienced where he most likely is in the wrong. How is that okay?
List who kicked this game's butt never fucking played it that far. You know? They played the first act and said, oh, okay, I get it. And then they just praised the shit out of it to follow the fucking suit. I'm sorry, but I have a hard time believing that most people who got Baldur's Gate 3 played it for 130 fucking hours, got through the game, didn't,
oh my God.
Didn't
he's
feel this
special. He's the main character.
And just if they did, they forgave it.
He's the only person who played the game.
You know, I'm here to try to bring you my honest perspective. I really like the game, but this game is not flawless. This game is not the best RPG ever. It's got problems. Maybe if they continue to patch, fix, and refine it, it'll be the best game ever made.
All right, can we move on from this? This is
annoying.
annoying.
Got all these problems now.
I'm done with Baldur's Gate 3.
I can't forgive those or just overlook them to follow the bandwagon of what everyone says around me that it's amazingly flawless. It's not. It's got tons of problems.
Tons of problems is a specific
really,
game bug where he's in the wrong, probably.
Because I don't understand why everyone kisses the game's butt. And no one has called out these major kind of problems. Maybe I'm just the unlucky schmuck who gets every problem. I don't know. But man, I'm not making this shit up. As we go along, we encounter...
Okay, so this ties in with like his gaming opinions. He's not capable of having any sort of nuanced discussion with anything. Because Baldur's Gate 3, I played it. I really liked it, kind of. It's not like my favorite game ever, but I can appreciate the detail and the amount of work and effort and how much there is in the game. It's personally not my favorite, or not something I love so much. I think it was okay to me. Like, I enjoyed it, but I can appreciate how much work went into it and how much there is in it. But this guy, no, the conclusion is the game is bad because I experienced a bug. And I don't know how nobody else is calling the game out and how the game is why are people saying the game is the game of the year? It's like, how do you not know by now? You've played it, right? I can understand it, even though I personally don't love it so much. Like, I don't know. It's not that hard to understand, dude.
From YT commenter.
Thank you, YT.
Imagine 41-year-old who rants about how games wronged him, talks about his birthday party, and who sits in jammies all day. Definition of a man baby.
Exactly.
I'm him.
That's him. That's DSP. Exactly. To a T, dude.
The next annoying thing. And again, I'll be honest with you. No, this would not have been my game of the year last year. It might maybe rank top 3, but it wouldn't have been my game of the year. When you get to a point where
it shouldn't even rank top 3 for him, because he just doesn't like this kind of game, and that's okay. It's okay to not like that kind of game, but he's incapable of that. He can't like understand that idea. He can't get it.
Exhausted, and you want a game to end, and you're not getting enjoyment much.
Like describing yourself as exhausted and wanting the game to end. You're not enjoying it. It's just as simple as you're not enjoying it, man. That's all it is.
$4.99 from Romain Bremen.
Thank you, Romain.
He found multiple threats with his problem, but no one is calling this game out.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, where he has to say no one is calling the game out. Everyone says it's perfect. But you, who has played it for 130 hours, you really can't see why people would like it? You think that your experience defines everybody's experience. Like, you're the authority. And because you have an issue with it and you don't like it, it means everyone else must have something wrong with them, because why are they saying that it's amazing? He's incapable of thinking any different from his own perspective.
Out of it anymore? That's a bad sign.
It's insane.
Baldur's Gate 3 has overstayed its welcome.
Overstayed its welcome.
Thank you, Vaporware. 336. DSP tries it, liking something and hyperbole.
Exactly. Exactly, Vaporware.
It has so much...
It's overstayed its welcome, but it's my game of the year top 3 pick.
Content in it that you just feel this heavy level of exhaustion
that
by
makes
the end.
sense.
And when the game starts having these problems, and now your enjoyment is sucked out of your experience. I had zero enjoyment in that Gortash boss fight yesterday. Zero. Even with all my stuff going on, I'm like, this sucks. Too complex, too many moving parts, too much jankiness, pisses me off.
You
just want to fucking get through it, but it's like pulling teeth, right?
The thing, like, this sucks. Too much jankiness, no enjoyment. This is just him not enjoying it, but he must shit on the game. It's the game's fault he's not enjoying it. He's incapable of anything more complex than that.
But I'm going to be stuck in this room for an hour of torture. Well, I don't want to be tortured for an hour. I'm supposed to be enjoying a video game.
God damn it, bro. Thank you, Punished.
$5 from Punished Lasagna. DSP hates this game with a joyful, but is too cowardly to admit it. He hates game journals but doesn't want to have opinions too contrary from them.
Yeah, it's an interesting song and dance with this guy when it comes to gaming opinions. It's so interesting. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with him, is gaming opinions, which is funny because he's supposed to be the gaming guy. And he never knows what he's talking about. And he always, like, he has to stick to a certain logic and it always contradicts itself. I don't know. It's just so interesting to me.
You know what I mean? And that's how I feel at this point.
It's so annoying, though.
Hopefully, we're in the end now, and hopefully the end fight isn't like that. I'm sure it's going to be the most complex fight in the game, especially because it seems like all the characters will be returning who we've recruited over the course of the game to help us. But man, it's going to suck if the end fight is again another thing, a million fucking new factors and moving parts and variables you don't understand, and this doesn't work here, and this ain't working here, and a glitch here, and a bug here, and this fucking person gets shot into the fucking Nintendo world, and this person is fucking erased from... Yeah, fuck this. I just want to play it and beat it. I don't want to spend the next week trying to figure out what the fuck they were trying to do for some weird ending.
I just want to play it and beat it is why he likes games like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human and that kind of stuff. The movie games. Because they play themselves for the most part. And he just needs to push buttons occasionally. And he doesn't really have to do much. And that's okay! DSP, that's okay if you like that kind of game. But to then shit on other games like Baldur's Gate because you can't just breeze through it like Heavy Rain... That's not really a good complaint. It's just not for you. It's not that the game is bad.
What I mean. So I guess we're gonna see what happens.
Whatever, dude.
And go from
King
there.
Of Retro. DSP Gaming.
You know, let's see. If anything, though, it's funny because someone said, "How fitting to the plot is it that it's actually Karlach who basically gives her all in this fight against Gortash?" The guy who betrayed her and originally made her a slave in the Hells, right? He's the one who sold her off to the Hells as a slave.
Oh,
he
no,
put
Lucky
got
Limes.
the infernal engine to be put into her and everything. That she just gives her absolute 100% last bit of everything to beat him, but now basically she's completely burned out and worthless because she lost her build. She can't even use it anymore, right? So it's funny because if you're a role player, it actually kind of fits the story, doesn't it? Like she went all out in that fight and she beat Gortash, but now she's spent, she's done. She's out of energy because she gave it all to beat this asshole. So that's kind of funny. But at the same time,
it's hilarious.
That's fucked up because I have this character built for the end game and now I can't use her if the spear's gone. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it sucks. I would have liked to just boot up the game today and be like, hey, everyone, we're going to go right to the final area and let's engage with the final end game content.
Yeah, load the save.
And I can't do that because now we have to try to fuck around and see where the spear went, if it even exists. Does it exist in the game world? Is it fused to a body? Is it in the walls? Is it up my ass? I don't know. Won't know till we fuck around, and I don't like fucking around. You know, I got shit to do. I got a brain to stop. I got a big ass fucking Krang brain to stop.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can totally understand your position. Why? I would never give Game of the Year to a game that causes me this level of anxiety and stress because it doesn't fucking work right.
Right.
I just wouldn't.
Tell me how heavy rain is your Game of the Year.
Number score, it's got to be an 8 or a 9. You know what I mean? But I would never be giving this game
like there it is again, where it's got to be 8 or a 9. Why? Because other people like it? In reality, DSP should rate this game like a 4 because he just doesn't like it. That's his opinion. But no, it's gotta be 8 or a 9. Simply because other people like the game. Like, why, dude? Why? I don't get it.
Work right.
He's afraid to say he doesn't like it.
I just wouldn't.
But he wants to shit on it.
Still ranked high. Like, I would probably, number score, it's gotta be an 8 or a 9. You know what I mean? But I would never be giving this game my Game of the Year award when I'm pissed off at it like this. I shouldn't be angry playing the game because it fucked up. So,
all right, moving on, please.
There you
please go. Move on, please.
Okay, folks, that's what I had to talk about today.
Jesus
I got it off my chest. I've ranted,
Christ.
and now we can move on and see what happens today when I play. I'll be honest with you. I think the spear's gone. I don't think we're getting it back. So the only thing I can say is there another build we can do for Karlak, or she shot? Like, if that's the case, I don't even know who to use in her place. She was essential to my endgame build, so I don't even know what to do about that. Like someone said, there's a hammer. I don't know what the fuck the hammer is. There's a hammer that does the same thing. You know, so unless anyone else has an idea, we're going to get another throw item that will return to her. I think she's pretty shot. Like, I don't know, we could give her a two-handed weapon, but it's not going to
okay, brother, please.
Orphic hammer, yeah. See, but I have to, then things like Tavern Brawler are worthless. Like, why should I have Tavern Brawler?
Okay, can we move
it's already
on?
Noon, so I guess what we'll do is we'll start with shoutouts. We'll see where those go and see how much time we have left here. But I certainly hope, if you will stick around.
Beg.
That you'll help me with this. Try to figure out what happened to the spear or what I'm going to do next.
He's game begging.
I don't know. She might be worthless for the end game. I don't even know what to say about it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's start off with, by the way, no game news today. Nothing like that. I checked. Nothing really going on in that regard. So no worries there. Let's start with the YouTube side of things. So thank you to those who contributed on the YouTube side of stuff. We start off with BB Phil, who did a super chat and says, is everything allowed on your React channel? I was surprised to find out you react to people saying things about you. If you look at the submissions thread, because I have a thread for submissions tier and ultra tier, those are the people who submit the clips for the React show, DSP versus the internet. The rules are right there. And I'll just off the top of my head, says right there, you know, there's a difference between me reacting to like a this is how you don't play, making fun of my gameplay, or someone who's a troll, like literally sitting here insulting me and my family members and stuff. I'm not going to give a troll any kind of airtime because that's exactly what they want. They want attention. The best thing I can do to trolls is completely fucking ignore them because then it shows them how insignificant they really are on this planet.
Okay.
And they're not worth my time.
Good job ignoring them right
time
now.
On a show just because someone paid to do a submission, I'm not going to do that. Okay? Okay. Rare Tricks did a super chat. He says, arguments about rules are the true heart of Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah. And again, the thing is, from what I'm to understand, let's say there was an argument that erupted in a game of Dungeons & Dragons over something like this. Where did the spear go? Or the Dungeon Master would figure out the resolution and solve the problem so there's an ultimate solution. And even though you might not agree with the solution,
like, isn't the game engine, the code, isn't that the Dungeon Master? Because you can solve the issue by just reloading the save. There's ways to solve this.
The whole point is the Dungeon Master makes the rules. There is no arbitrary body or overseer in this game to fix an issue like this. We all know the spear should not have just disappeared, right? It should be somewhere. But the fact that it did disappear, well, what's the resolution to this? Well, there is none. It's a video game. Sorry.
There is none. It's a video game. You can load video games.
Demand that Larry and studio staff go to their desks and code the fix right now. I mean, I did that. It ain't gonna do anything. No one cares, right? So I'm the one who gets asked out after 133 hours invested in my playthrough because the coding's bad. That's bullshit, right?
Oh boy.
But I think that's kind of the problem is, in a D&D game, you're investing all this time and effort into it, but you will get resolutions to problems like this. You can't do it in a video game. And that may be the issue. Maybe Larian bit off more than they could chew.
What?
And maybe that's why they don't want to do another D&D.
How the fuck?
Right? Maybe that's literally why they don't want to do.
He's turning his spear glitch, quote unquote, most likely his fault, into Larian bit off more than they can chew. That's just not even true because they released the game. The game is out. You're playing it. What the fuck?
They realized, man, this was such an undertaking to get this game out, and now there's all these problems with it, and we just don't want to fucking deal with it anymore. Let's move on to our own next project. I don't know, right? I don't know. BB filled in another super chat. Says, have you seen a Smash Brothers Melee documentary? It showcases all old school tournaments with people sleeping on the floor for days in 2003. No, I never saw that, but I can attest to that back in the day, before there was professional sponsorship or anything fighting game related, it was all grassroots and it was very sloppy. Before the era of Street Fighter 4, when all of a sudden you had companies like Mad Catz and other companies coming out and sponsoring players, and then there was esports teams involved and things like that. It was just individuals bumming their way through all these events to try to get good and become a top player. And honestly, in a lot of cases, it was just for the glory and the love of the game. It wasn't like there was a big reward at the end of the tunnel. Even the people who were winning all the tournaments in a country weren't rich and making money off of it. They had to find other ways to finance what they were doing because there was no profits in it. The tournaments were all grassroots, run by just local community members. The prizes were based off a very small prize pool. $5 to enter a tournament. How big's that pot going to be realistically, right? So, yeah, a lot of the times you'd have people who were like sleeping around the tournament venue, trying to bum into people's hotel rooms. That happened all the time. If you got a hotel room, yo, can I stay in your room? What?
As if this doesn't happen?
No. Are you going to pay me to stay in a room?
What?
Oh, I don't have any money. What the fuck are you doing at the tournament? Well, I'm playing. You came to a tournament with no money. You have nowhere to stay. You're literally begging people to stay in their rooms tonight. Yes.
Bruh, I ain't even going to say nothing.
That was common. I'm not even kidding. That was a common occurrence back then. Yeah.
I'll say one thing. This dude was begging people to drive him around. Traveling to tournaments, he needed people to pick him up from the train station or the bus station, and then to drive him around for the whole tournament, and then to drive him back to the train station. That he was begging people.
Yes, I never saw the documentaries or whatever, but it sure sounds like it's pretty accurate. If that is what it was portraying, that kind of thing was 100% commonplace. It was very common that you go to a tournament and there was a hotel that was, basically booked for the tournament because all the tournament players were there. And you'd go, oh, want to come into our room and play some casual play? Sure. You open the door, there's like 27, 28 people in the room. A tiny little hotel room. We're not talking like a big grand luxury suite. A tiny little fucking hotel room. It smells like ass. It's disgusting. The fuck are we doing? What is this? That's what it was like back then.
As if this doesn't happen anymore. People sharing rooms, going to tournaments, hanging out with friends, making good memories. What?
Anyway,
what?
Hey, one day I could totally do like a whole stream, or I could certainly contribute to a documentary. I was there.
Contribute to a documentary. Really? Look at this fucking narcissist.
$2 from Wesley H. The walking ATM thinks he's better than others. Thoughtful face.
Yeah, the walking ATM, dude.
Fucking based.
That's a good one. Thank you, Wesley.
I have all this knowledge of the tournament scene back then and how it was. But again, because I'm the meme of the internet that everyone hates, no one ever comes upon me for any kind of information whatsoever. They don't care.
Why would they?
Right? Because everything I say is obviously fake anyway, right? Like I was never part of that scene. I never was good at games, Hey, I make it all up.
Yeah, he totally is not bitter and doesn't care.
Okay,
yeah.
I received a $6 tip.
What a sad, pathetic old man. That's
from Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix. Well, thank you for that. Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix. Let's get you on the leaderboard here. First tip of the day.
Pathetic. All right, can we?
Carl.
Can we?
This person's Snow Carl. They said, here's some food talk. Did you hear McDonald's will be selling Krispy Kreme donuts at the end of 2026? Hear me out now. How about a Krispy Kreme Big Mac? They'll call it the Death Burger. No, I didn't hear that. No, I'm not interested in that. The era of Krispy Kreme was like the mid-2000s.
Is Cat interested?
Like Krispy Kreme hit the scene and started competing with other donut makers like Dunkin' Donuts.
I don't know.
And their donuts were significantly better. You could see them being made because they had like an assembly line in the building that you could watch these donuts being made. And it smelled great, and they actually had some decent coffee as well. And you could get ultimate gourmet donuts, like cream-filled, chocolate-topped donuts and stuff like that. And for a while, they were very, very popular. I particularly remember when I worked my office job at Wells Fargo, that we would every once in a while bring Krispy Kreme into the office, or someone would bring them in and be like, oh my God, right? Like crazy decadent donuts and shit.
If I had $1 for every time they said I gave a shit, I'd be broke because I don't give a shit.
They're just too decadent to me. Like they're too many calories, too much sugar. They're amazing. They taste so good, but they're so bad for you. I would literally not go for them. And since then, since I had that office job, and that was 20-some years ago, I have never eaten a Krispy Kreme donut once again. They don't have it out here in the West Coast. It doesn't exist.
Thank you, Wesley.
$5 from Wesley H. It doesn't matter how good he was. It matters that none of those people he played consider him a friend or compatriot.
Yeah, him shitting on things that he used to do. He used to make old videos and old travel vlogs where he's like, man, we had like people sleeping on the bed, 3 people in the bed, 3 people on the ground. He used to do that. He used to do that. And for him to just sit here and shit on that and shit on those memories about things he used to do that he used to like, he would brag about doing it and enjoy that. It's something he enjoyed doing. But now he's just a bitter old man and he just sits here and shits on people that currently do it. I don't know.
Out here we have Top Pot donuts, which I don't even know how they're made, but they're very good. They're very dense donuts.
Okay, can we not
donuts.
talk about donuts,
shitty,
please?
I'm not too interested in McDonald's and get anything.
Thank you. No more shout-outs. Aww.
All right, well,
$6.
that covers it for now. I think we've done all the shout-outs so far.
Oh,
so if any other contributions come in, I will shout them out. But in the meantime, guys, if you could tag me in chat, and let's see what you guys want to talk about. And go from there. Whoops. I put the screen. I didn't mean to open.
All right, $6, guys. This right here sucks.
And it glitched. What did I do? Okay, hold on.
This right here
sucks. Okay, it's loading now. Good. Okay. So if any other contributions come in, I'll shout them out. But in the meantime, let's see what you guys want to chat about. Okay. Butter says there was a Krispy Kreme in Tacoma.
Nope.
Ads. In fact, people were saying, yeah, please run ads. They were actually
what ads? Ads?
If I, well, I know there is one there, but I've never seen one in my local area here, Seattle.
We're getting ad discussion.
It's re-upping the membership for 6 months, as I missed when we didn't run ads, but now it helps us. But I know it helps us. Huh? Yeah, so basically, if you remember, I didn't used to run any ads on my streams at all. If I did, it was a rare thing. Once or twice a stream, I would manually run. But then I would sit here and I would like overly advertise to you. And people all complained. And they said, Phil, if you could stop advertising as much, would you like, you know, it doesn't matter if you get sponsors, you run ads. In fact, people were saying, yeah, please run ads. They were actually saying that. Hey, Phil, please run ads. And I was like, you're asking me? They're like, yeah, monetize us. Like, literally, that's what they would say. Monetize us. You're going on break. What the
monetize fuck, bro?
So I started doing...
This is a lie. I've said it before, but he is lying. He's straight up lying. He put ads because he said ads in November and December were better on YouTube because it's near Christmas time. It's the holidays. The ad revenue was up. That's why he put ads. He said he needs the help because he is not making enough money. That's why he put it. He didn't put it because people were... Who the fuck would beg for ads? He actually expects people to believe that. Actually. Like, bro,
yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Auto running of ads, so it does by itself.
Yes, give me ads,
so that's what
please.
I've had on for months. And if you haven't noticed, I haven't really... I'm not really advertising that much anymore. I mean, maybe a couple of times a stream, I'll say, hey, guys, contribute if you can. Or if we have a really slow stream, I'll bring it up. I'm trying my best to really reduce the amount that I advertise on my stream.
except for when I beg.
I know how obnoxious it is. And as people have made point,
you know what I mean?
People want to contribute, they're going to figure out how to do it. Or they're just going to ask, right? They're not going to say, we need to be reminded 17 times a day that you can contribute. People are going to figure it out, right? So I stopped doing that, but the ads are running. And I'll be honest, I make a few bucks on the ads. It's not a giant difference from when I didn't. But at the same time, it helps. Every once in, you know, I get, especially on like a big premiere stream when there's a lot of people here on a big premiere day. Typically, I'll get
late with the
extra ad revenue.
I'm sorry.
On a stream like that's monetized. It's not a ton, but it does help. Okay, and I apologize for those who are like, oh, I don't like these ads. All right, I don't like ads either.
Guess what?
I think ads suck.
Buy
I don't
premium.
Ads in my face. I strongly recommend you get YouTube Premium.
No,
right? Let me tell you again. I know. I swear to you, I'm not paid by YouTube to advertise YouTube Premium. But I really like the service, and I will tell you guys about things I actually do really like that I pay for. So with YouTube Premium, just listen to all the features you get.
Oh my God, he's going to shill for free.
Ads are completely gone from the site as if they don't exist, but the person who's running the ad gets credit as if you watched. So every time you watch one of my streams, if you have YouTube Premium, you're helping out the channel. Thank you for that. Okay? Number 2, you can actually listen to YouTube minimized. And I do this all the time. I'll have music playing, and I'll just minimize YouTube, and it'll play in the background, and I can hear it. I can listen to it when I'm in a shower. I have, you know, tunes playing, right? It's pretty neat. I really like that about it. And again, no ads, no intrusive ads.
The way he slides into the shill, man.
It's crazy. On YouTube, and it's like listening to a radio station, which is really neat. You can download videos ahead of time to your device and listen to them or watch them later, even without an internet connection. So you're able to mobily watch videos ahead of time, which is really, really cool. Okay? Now, that's just some of the features I've actually mentioned recently. For those of you who like this podcast and you said, why don't you have it available on other formats like on iTunes or whatever? If you get YouTube Music, you can subscribe to this podcast, and it comes to you delivered every single day as if you had one of those other services. And if you have YouTube Premium,
they were
you
asking
get a
for
free
the other
subscription to
services.
YouTube Music. You get ridiculous amounts of music on there.
Okay.
That's just a few of the features. Some
Yeah.
people have told me, I guess, for your first month when you become a YouTube Premium member, you also get a free membership to a YouTube channel. I haven't confirmed that. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it may be worth a look if you look into it.
Nice bag.
So basically,
I don't beg, by
give
the
it a
way.
look. And again, I recommend it. It's not that expensive. I think depending on where you live, it's anywhere from like $10 to $20 a month. I think here in the US, it's like $16 a month. I pay for it every
Jesus
month.
Christ.
It's why we're able to do shows like DSPReacts, DSP versus the internet, or the new Retro React show and see no ads because I have that service. And it's just super duper good. Okay?
Yes.
The Blim says, I've got it.
Dude,
If
okay,
I download
realistically, he wants you to pay, what, $4 for a membership times 3 for his 3 different channels. Also, on top of that, pay $16 a month US for YouTube Premium. Then you can enjoy all of my content. Are you kidding me? That's what he actually wants you to do.
podcast and I listen to it later, do I get revenue? You know, it's a good question. I think
fuck off.
Because all of that is enabled through YouTube Premium, I think the answer is yes. I can't confirm that. I don't work at YouTube. All right.
What?
But I think the answer is yes. I will benefit from it in some way because the only way you can access that stuff is by having YouTube Premium. So they're going to factor in that. And I think like if you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube Music and you're at least listening to it in some form, I think I get credit for it. I can't confirm that. I don't work with them, but I would think that I would get credit for it, right?
Oh yeah. Alex Mir, he's going to make the politics channel too.
So anyway,
4 channels.
yeah, I'm sorry that ads annoy you guys, but I do strongly recommend that you get YouTube Premium. Okay?
Right. Only spend like $30 a month.
I received a $10 tip
from Santa Claus. Can we move on? Hurry up, now. He's pre-screening the question.
Okay, so hold on. It's 1 Minute Man. He tipped $10. He has an update on the Asterian situation, I believe.
Oh boy.
Let's see what he has to say. Thank you for the $10 tip. 1 Minute Man.
Well, we got to listen to
the biggest
this
tip of the day
now.
so far. It is. Let's get him on the leaderboard. But he says, I rewatched your segment from a few days back, the I Got Robbed segment where Asterian stole my stuff. He says, I wanted to find out why you didn't get an option for a happy ending and avoiding frustration. It turns out you locked yourself out of that conversation with Asterian like you did with Saravok in part 42 of the playthrough.
Bruh.
Okay.
Bruh.
25 minutes, 46 seconds in, I chose option 1. All right, what do you need? All right. Expresses agreement in this context. When you went back on your word and you didn't help him, you pissed him off. If you had chosen option 2, you can't finish the ritual, you'll kill all these people, you would have been given the opportunity to persuade Asterion.
Nice.
That would still be in your party. Nobody dies except Cazador.
So big surprise, it's DSP's fault that he was having issues with the game. His complaint was his
prisoners
fault.
go free to live in the Underdark. Everyone in your party is proud of Asterion, a really happy and satisfying outcome. Wow. So just think about that. Because of an arbitrary conversation choice that I made in part 42
arbitrary. Yeah.
of a 133-part playthrough. Some, 100 hours later, that choice is somehow remembered by the game engine, and I'm screwed out of having a happy ending. Who would have even thought, back then that you're not understanding what you're saying or that it has any repercussions or what it means, right? Right? So...
Right. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, I'll be honest, I think that's
consequences.
kind of silly that you're locking yourself out of content later for something you did early in the game. Okay?
Oh my God.
Anyway, I received another $10 tip, of course, from 1 Minute Man. And he continues on with this. He says, in conclusion, the dialogue would allow for Asterion to actually have a very positive and satisfying character arc, which would make him a better and mature person. Your choice of...
In case you're wondering, because I saw in chat, I'm sorry, I forgot who you were, why 1 Minute Man sends $10 in chunks now? I think it's because it's to make it look like more people have donated. It's less to make it look like he has one whale that gives him all of the money. So... I think that's why.
Dialogue brings out the worst in him, so you end up losing a useful...
And so he can send more messages because he sends paragraphs.
...full companion, and worse because he has your good stuff, which rightfully belongs to him. I disagree. He has been fighting alongside you, putting his life on the line. You expect him to leave butt naked? No, I think, like I said, there should be an option to hash it out. Either he keeps it all, you keep it all, or there's a compromise option, or you fight for it, as I explained last week when we went over that. If I were him, I would have left you nothing. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned. Be careful how you talk to people. Choose your words carefully. You may lose someone important to you in life. That's how it works. Fair enough. Maybe it's a life lesson, or maybe it's just a really annoying, arbitrary line early in the game that you have no idea of the repercussions of because of the way that they coded the game. But, well,
nice.
Thank you very much, 1 Minute Man.
The game coding is bad.
I appreciate that this morning. Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Okay. It's not early. 42 hours into a 140-hour game is not early. It's not even a third into the game when you're making that choice, right?
But it's 42 hours into the game, though.
Dark Ant Terry says, just want to say your second Dark Souls 3 run's one of the most underrated playthroughs of, that you've ever done. I love Hour Parts. It's a shame your redemption run of Bloodborne isn't in your style of parts. Yeah. Right. The Hour Parts came much later. The Hour Parts came during the year of the Google Plus glitch that screwed this channel over and shut down for like 2 weeks before the glitch was fixed by Google. And then I just...
Yeah, the Google Plus glitch was his channel being flagged as a spam channel. That was a great moment for me. I remember laughing really hard when that happened.
To do the hour-long parts.
He got all his videos mass uploaded in one day, and they thought he was spamming videos because of how many videos he had.
Right. No, the second Dark Souls 3 run is
pretty
amazing.
funny.
Because now I've played other FromSoft games, I've learned the mechanics, and I go back in, and I do so much better that second run. I remember the boss I had the most problems with the first run was Champion Gunder, and then when I fought him the second time...
I don't care. Big ups. Little downs, big ups.
The tip total needs an audit. Oh. Correct. It should be 26, right?
It needs an audit.
2 1-minute man tips, and we had the...
All right, move on, please. I think we're almost done here, guys.
I'm sure. Tub says you can lose every single party member if you don't pay attention. I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure like each character has arcs, right? Where you could do a wrong thing and then they'll leave or die, right?
For now.
672 just said, you should try new churros from Subway. They taste like old Wonder Bread covered in cinnamon. I don't know if that's a slam or if that's a compliment. Old Wonder Bread, like the old style of Wonder Bread, and you think that's good, or old moldy Wonder Bread.
What do you think he meant, bro?
What are you talking about?
It's pretty obvious what he meant.
Let me just tell you something. The last thing I think about when I go to Subway is eating a churro. Don't they have like a bunch of shit now that they're doing that's really weird? Don't they have like a giant foot-long cookie? I think they do. I think they have a foot-long cookie now, too.
They do?
Like, they're basically doing everything that they could bake in their oven with their bread.
Is that an American thing?
They're now doing it.
I'm not American, fellas.
Chris E20, we've already stated that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is likely going to return as a late-night stream once we wrap up Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon. Those must finish, and then we can reshuffle the schedule around. I definitely want to play more Dragon's Dogma 2. I want to do a co-op playthrough with my wife, right? I probably will bring back Final Fantasy VII. The thing is, I don't want to do all RPG, so that's why I'm thinking of doing like maybe Alone in the Dark for variety.
That makes more sense. Sounds good.
Dark Gaming says there's a plotline you can't do now, but if you become a worshiper of Baal, you can kill most of your party.
Can we move on from this?
They were good, but they were closed by the health department for like an extreme amount of health code violations. So I guess they were really run poorly. And the only other Arby's in my area is like over half an hour driving distance away, and it's basically like way too expensive to get it delivered. Like they really jack up the prices for no good reason. It's like, do I want to drive a half an hour to eat Arby's, or do I want to pay an exorbitant amount of money to eat Arby's? No. So I haven't had Arby's in years.
Okay.
The Bloom says, yesterday's suggestion about the split between you covering topics and playing games and types of games you're playing and how it splits the audience was a really interesting segment. I agree. If you don't know what we're talking about,
I agree
so yesterday
with myself.
someone had said, well, actually it was 2 days ago. It was when we did suggestion box. Someone had said the following. When you play games, all right, the majority of people seem to want to see you play games. The problem is no one agrees on the game. So when you play an RPG, that audience shows up. When you play a fighting game, they show up, but then they're split. For the people who want to see you do non-gaming, like this podcast or something on my React channels or a special event, they're unified in just wanting to hang out. They just want to spend time with me and have some personal conversation or whatever. So because they're unified, those experiences feel different, right? I feel like more people are engaged in it. How is it that whenever I do a random gaming stream, it's very hard to retain an audience or get people excited, but if I do a random late night chill stream, tons of people show up and engage in support, right? So I think that's what it is. That's a good point. There are unifying times. For example, if I play a new GTA game, if I play a new FromSoft game, like for example,
really pretending that he doesn't get wailed on. Like, bro, it's one guy giving you money. Every time you get money, it's one guy giving you money.
Well, everyone's gonna want to see me play the DLC
like, shut up, man.
For Elden Ring. Well, can you imagine right now if I made this statement? I have decided against playing the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC for Elden Ring. I'm skipping it entirely. I'm never playing it. People would go crazy. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? No, we've been waiting for this. How dare you fucking cheat us out of this entertaining, gameplay and stream? You're an asshole. Which I would respond, well, how dare you insult me on my stream? Now I permanently ban you. And I would lean in manual ban. But luckily, I'm not going to say that.
What?
I actually am going to play it, right? But that's the thing. Like, I really feel like there's unifying things in gaming, but a lot of the times the audience is completely split. And because of that, you can't, like they say, you can please some of the people all of the time, but you can't please everybody all the time, right? It's just not possible. And in the case of me doing non-gaming stuff, again, I think people like to have a hangout session. People like to have a podcast. during a marathon, you're like hanging out with me, and you have a little, we're drinking, we're chilling, right? We're having a good time. Oh, I'm gonna do feasting with Phil. We're just hanging out and trying food. I'm eating
some of the worst shit he does, man. What the fuck?
It's fun stuff. It's different, and people like that, and that unifies the audience.
Yeah,
in a
people
way.
like
We're
that.
into that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that was a valid, very valid point the other day. Dark Gaming says there's no side content for Ichiban in Chapter 13. If you beeline the team, Ichiban team, that's going to take some work, I think, because they don't have in-game weapons.
All right. Big ups. We're live now. Great.
You know, it may just be that I have to do one run, like the level 2 run in the Japanese dungeon.
Level 2?
And then once we're done with that, use those to build up a couple weapons, and then we're good for the end of the game. No, I have level boosters, but not a lot. I have 5 level boosters. That's it. And I have like 1 to 2 extra levels for each job class, so it's not a lot, you know. You're acting like I have way more than I have, Dark Gaming. I don't have that much.
See, this is
how
where
does Dark
you end
Gaming
the
know
podcast,
this stuff? Because
man.
he's a dirty, rotten cheater. He looks everything up, and he spoils for everybody.
Whoa.
Dark Gaming know this stuff because he's a dirty, rotten cheater. He looks everything up, and he
Jeez.
spoils for everybody.
That sounded sus there, but
That's
how.
how.
All right, I'm looking into it.
Oh my God. Did I not already explain this? Oh, I just got asked again what games are going to replace when we finish these games this week. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You ready? Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely coming back. I want to balance that with another different type of game so we're not playing too many RPGs. I'm strongly considering Alone in the Dark. Very different style of game. Survival horror, not that long. It'll give us some variety for the streams. Okay? For the late night streams, it's probably going to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I also want to do a co-op playthrough with my wife of Beyond Two Souls. Of course, we're going to keep doing the React days and stuff like that. Okay? Also, Battlefront. Like, Battlefront supposedly got patched. And I want to play that a bit. I didn't even get to play it. The thing was broken. So hopefully it's fixed and I can play it now and at least get some fun out of it. Okay? So that's the foreseeable future. And then on my birthday marathon on April 6th, we're going to do a schedule update. And during that schedule update, we're going to see all the game release dates for the next few months. And we're going to set in stone the games I definitely want to play. And then we're going to see the empty spots and we're going to try to figure out, so what are the filler, right? Maybe I could go back and play games that I've...
Him figuring out the game's schedule is something he needs to do on his off time. But somehow he's trying to monetize it. A schedule segment he's trying to monetize. To play games during the year on his birthday.
Unplayed, waiting for me to go back. I just killed the Lich Dragon, right? And it's like, where are you?
Oh, boy.
Where are you, Phil? There's more guys to kill to blast with your magic. And I'm not there. I got lost.
Okay. Thank you, Phil.
Mr. Burnell, you there?
Yes, I saw King of Kong. I have seen that movie. I liked it. But I don't even know if it's valid anymore, because I think those records have already been broken, and then they negated all the Billy Mitchell records. Now they're claiming that they could be valid again. Like, who gives a shit? At this point, it's so stupid and convoluted. I don't even care about it, right?
It's convoluted to know that Billy
Game
Mitchell
of the year
cheated.
so far? I honestly don't even know. I really don't even know. You know, we'd have to sit down and look at the games that I've played and finished, or at least played enough of. I don't even feel like right now, if you say what's game of the year, at first it was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but then I started getting really bored with the second open world part. So until I go back to that game, I can't really judge. We have to get further in.
He put it on hiatus.
So,
I forgot.
I'm not sure.
It's got to be Dragon's Dogma for me right now, or Helldivers. It's pretty fun. What the hell did he there? What?
Okay, is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before we look to adjourn the show and jump back into Baldur's Gate 3 and try to find this goddamn spear, which probably doesn't exist? I really feel like Karlak is screwed now. Shoryuken, what's going on? He said, what's your favorite job class in Like a Dragon? You know, what's funny about Like a Dragon is...
What's your favorite job?
In the first one, there were job classes that maybe had like one
utility. I gotta say, I like how he's saying job classes instead of just jobs. What's my favorite job?
That's a great area of effect.
My job
class has a move that absorbs the element of your weapon. Every job class has a move that breaks guard, excuse me. So because of that, they almost all feel kind of universal, although admittedly some are better for like flame attacks, water / I can't speak English today. Causing a cold to be caught. I guess that was kind of a tongue twister. Causing a cold to be caught. Causing a cold to be caught. That is pretty tricky. But anyway, yeah, like I think they're all pretty good. I would say Idle is great for buffing and healing, but really has like no good attacks, which is kind of sad because you just can't do any damage really with Idle. So they all serve a good utility. I mean, overall, out of all the ones, I would say Desperado's really cool. because not only do you have cool gun attacks, but also that the lasso, and you can like break guard, swing people around and everything. I thought that was pretty neat. So I would say that. And you know what? The other one, Housekeeper. Why? Crazy good elemental attacks. Like the Housekeeper has all these good attacks that all hit a giant area and get everyone hit with elements. It's just really good. They're probably my 2 favorite classes in the game.
Does this really deserve like a 5-minute talking segment? Your favorite job?
Would I ever do a playthrough of Gollum? No. No. It's like, I have enough of a hard time. I have enough of a hard time. All right. Juggling good games. I don't have time for bad ones at this point in my career. Okay, at one point I did. At one point I played like every game. I just don't have time for it anymore. What? 1 Minute Man has tipped another $5 tip.
He's
I think he has maybe some
argument.
suggestions about the spear situation. Let's see.
Oh boy.
Excuse me.
I can't fast forward through this. No, please.
Okay. He says, sorry, it was part 122. Was it the dialogue choice you're talking about? If that's the case, then that makes more sense. As for the mission spear, you're not the first to experience something like this. It seems AoE scan, looting, or move dead body could help solve the problem. You already mentioned where it might be. If you had tried, maybe you could have avoided today's rant. No, I should rant anyway. I should get it off my chest because it's just a problem that shouldn't exist in the game.
Oh my god.
Anyway, you can beat the Elder Brain without Karlach. Don't panic. Personally, if the spear was important to me, I would have reloaded the fight. But that's the thing. I don't want to redo the fight. It's already an annoying, frustrating fight. And no one wants to see me redo it. I don't want to redo it.
Couldn't do it off camera.
I'm kind of sticking with what happens in this game. Reloading is not always the situation. Not always the solution. Sometimes you got to live with what happens in the game, and I'm not going to reload. I'm going to see what happens. Do you know you can pick up and carry and throw NPCs? If someone doesn't follow you, try picking them up. It should be both useful and hilarious in certain situations. That's funny. So that's exactly what you do in Dragon's Dogma 2. You just pick anybody up and toss them around. Didn't we figure that out early on? I think we did, right? Didn't we?
Oh boy, this sucks. This is awful. I'm considering ending early. Holy shit, man. This is terrible.
It, actually. No Tango Dinero just did a super chat and said this super chat is sponsored by Arby's.
No Tango Dinero.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Right.
That was their slogan, at least for a little bit. I don't know if it still is, right?
What bothered me there too, he said he wants to live with what happens in the game sometimes, but if it causes you to go on this big rant, I guess he's doing it for content. The thing he hates, the drama, fabricating, fake, manipulated content, it's exactly what he's doing. Because he's just not reloading the save, so he has something to complain about. That's ridiculous, man. That's crazy.
I received a $1.50 tip from Anso Kamaru. You mentioned the open world and Rebirth started to feel boring and samey. While I disagree on the boring statement, I was definitely feeling burnout after 100%ing the second area. You'll be glad to know there is a massive chunk of streamlined story for a few hours, then a small bit of open world, then another massive chunk of story for a while. It breaks up the samey open world stuff. It's definitely going to be in my top 3 game of the year. I also email you some info on Stellar Blade. I'm not going to tell you to play it or hitting your discussion and skip it, but I want to give you some info on the company and its CEO.
He's not.
All right, fair enough. I'll read it. I already told you. And honestly, this is not a slight against the game, but I already know what a shit show the streams would be if I played it. Literally 90% of the people in the stream chat would just be sitting here making lewd sexual comments about the protagonist. And it's like, do I really want to run a stream that becomes that?
Women,
no.
Big juicy butt.
Been there, done that 10, 15 years ago when I used to do that kind of dumb shit in my commentary. I have completely moved away from that style of content. I don't want my content to be like that. So I don't want to play a game where it's a 10, 15-hour game of action, and every time I look at the chat, I can't engage with anyone because everyone's just, like, fucking drooling.
Fucking drooling.
So I'm probably not going to play it.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. His audience is mature adults, mature older people who love watching him and hanging out with him and love spending time with him. But somehow he plays a game like that, all of a sudden it's going to flip. They're all going to be immature little kids and little idiots that are going to drool in chat. All right, make that make sense somehow, please. Explain that to me.
That guy, he says maybe you could have picked up the NPC that glitched in the steel.
Okay,
that guy was select. Don't know why.
Don't care. Please take a sip. End the stream, please. Move on. Or I'm gonna drool in the chat, please.
The Dark Anteri says, any thought about doing a react to your yearly best of gaming list you make at the end of the year? It would be interesting if you still agree with your lists. Well, we did do last year a fun tier maker where I ranked all of my game of the year and game runner-up picks in the history of me doing YouTube. Remember?
Grin Bear.
I re-ranked the games to say what games still held up in the modern day and which games did not. But that was only the top 2. We've never done a formal React stream to that. That could be basically something we could maybe do for Retro React over on DSP Throwback.
Oh, boy.
Could work. The only bummer about that is that my earlier years when I did it, I always used copyright music. Because remember those first few years, I didn't monetize anything on YouTube, so I didn't care. So now if I go to watch those back, what essentially is going to happen is my React gets demonetized. And if it really is licensed music with lyrics and shit, like I remember one year, like my countdown had that song Relax, Don't Do It or whatever.
That's not even necessarily true. He was with Machinima, a managed partnership. They prevented him from getting like copyright stricken down right away. So he was making money doing that. I remember that.
Laser beams, laser beams.
Whatever.
So if it plays, it might mute my stream. My whole stream might get shut down.
It's a nitpick.
So it would be kind of tough to do, but I have to figure it out, I guess. Hidalgo says you should pick up and throw all of the bodies around Gortash's room to look for the spirits. A legitimate suggestion. I guess it's the first thing we'll do. We'll just start throwing dead bodies around. Sounds like a great way to clean up.
Okay.
Dark Gaming says, I look forward to the react of your Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough later on your channel this year. No, absolutely not. Maybe in another decade we'll go back and re-explore, but that's about it. It'll be cool to see me finish Divinity Original Sin 2 now? No, absolutely not. We're never doing that. Never. I've already deleted the game and thrown it out.
Okay.
No game news today. I checked. I didn't really see much going on in the realm of game news. Some horrible disaster news today about a bridge accident in like Baltimore and stuff like that. But no game related news, so nothing to really talk about.
What the fuck? Why did you even bring that up? What?
And guys, thank you for allowing me to vent about this kind of stuff. I appreciate it. I do.
What?
You know, that's one of the points of the show, is to have an avenue to vent about this kind of stuff.
Dude.
I still appreciate Baldur's Gate 3. I still like the game. I understand why people like it as much as they do and would say it's game of the year, but I call out flaws when I see them, and this game has a lot of them. Right? Especially this third act has been a mess in places. What's up, X Shooter? Good to see you today.
What's up, X Shooter?
Keanu says, oh, when Baldur's Gate 3 finishes, we'll have time to play the Grinch again. Yes, we can bring back the Grinch playthrough, of course. First thing on my mind. Wow, Skill Scholar says, I used to take that bridge to work every day. I use it frequently to get to my best friend's house. Not anymore. That thing's gone, right? They got to rebuild the whole goddamn thing. Or what happened? For those who didn't hear, I guess there's like a giant freight boat crashed into a fucking bridge with people on it. And the whole bridge collapsed. So all these people got dunked in the water, and they're trying to save them and find them right now. It's like a fucking...
Bro, why are you talking
So,
about this?
Yikes.
Oh, boy. And he says yikes. He says yikes. Jeez Louise. What a fucking alien, man.
Wow, 20 people are still missing in the water. That's terrible. Seriously, that's
Why?
that's something from a
What
fucking
is
horror
happening?
movie. Is it not? That's a disaster movie. You would expect that. Not in real life. It's like, oh my God.
Oh my god. I don't even know why he's bringing that up. That's wild to me.
Scale Scholar says, yes, in Maryland, the state is bisected by water. A lot of people rely on that particular bridge for commuting, so a lot of people's lives just got more complicated as they got to figure out how the heck they're going to get around. Wow.
Dude, what about the...
Terrible.
Oh my god. He mentioned... Oh my god. What is happening?
Ernst says, yes, that bridge is extremely important for all port shipments that come to and from the East Coast, and now it's all going to be screwed up. Shit. That's terrible, guys.
Talking about shipments and people getting to work? What the fuck is wrong with you? And he goes, huh, he gives us a Chris Chan
Anyway,
sign.
all right, guys. Well, I think it's time
Bro,
to wrap it up.
What the fuck was that? Why would you end it like that?
I thank you all for chilling with me here today. Thanks for letting me vent. Hopefully today
Thanks
we
for
resolve
letting
this.
me vent.
I want to go right to the end game, and let's get to this brain and start smacking it around. Right? Let's get those frontal lobes and go, just back and forth.
He could have ended it like 5 minutes ago before he said anything. But no, he chooses to respond and talk about it. Respond to people talking about it. And then he's worrying about people using the bridge. And people getting to work.
And of course tonight.
And shipments of cargo.
Tomorrow.
Not the missing
Recap all
people.
of that and let you know how it
Nice.
all went. But in
Oh
the
my
meantime,
God. I
be
can't
safe,
believe we
have
did that.
fun, Happy spring. See you in the AM. Bye-bye.
God damn, man.
Okay, everybody. It is time to get set up. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Woo! I belched profusely, a profuse belch. It was absolutely disgusting. Well, I'm going to understand, my belches and throat clears don't sound nearly as bad anymore, right? Everyone's saying that the microphone actually, like, now with my new filters, it limits the disgusting sounds. So people aren't actually as, like, disgusted during my streams now. I guess that's a good thing. I mean, if you guys have at least reduced the amount that you vomit to only once or...
Hold on.
$5 from Ribsy. Today is just a bad day. The Baltimore bridge collapsed, and I lost my friggin' spear. What else can happen?
Oh my god, bro. That's so good, Rebsy. That's so good. Thank you, Rebsy,
I guess
for
that's
the
a good
5,
thing.
man. Oh my god.
I mean, if you guys have at least reduced the amount that you vomit to only once or twice instead of like 7 or 8 times during one of my streams, that's an improvement, right? I'm very glad to hear that.
Oh
now
my
you don't
god.
need barf buckets anymore. Now just a barf bag for when I stream. Excellent. Very good.
Oh wait, yeah. What is he talking about? Excrement? What's
I'm
happening?
very glad to hear that.
Oh, fuck.
Now you don't need barf buckets anymore. Now just a barf bag for when I stream. Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, it's so funny.
Very good. Oh man. Okay.
Wait.
Man. Okay.
That's a new photo for the Twitter trend happening. The tummy time. His head's flat. He got laid on his back too much. He didn't get tummy time. Nice flat head, man. Big ups.
Let's get set up here. I am going to take a break to use the bathroom. So once again, if you guys would enjoy the nice title screen music, we could do that for you. Is that what you would like? Title screen music? I'll turn my fan up too because the sun's out yet again. The sun's been out all week this week. Very frustrating when it gets hot here. What can you do? Oh, let's boot her up. Let's get the title screen going.
146 hours?
I'll turn the fan up.
All right.
Realized? You know what I just realized? We're at the very end of the game, and it was never explained yet how the artifact came into being, how the Githyanki prince got trapped in there, and how the Emperor got in there. Like, it's never, that backstory hasn't been elaborated on. Like, we know it exists. We know it's a key part of the plot.
I gotta say, I'm sick of him using we are X amount of hours into the game, and this still hasn't happened. Because it's not a good unit of measurement with DSP. Because he takes forever to play video games. He just takes too long. As if his play count, like, equates to everyone's play count. Oh, the story is badly paced because I played for 146 hours. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? It's so annoying.
No, I don't think we got that. I don't remember. I know what it is. It's been explained what it is. But it was never explained who created it, how it was created, and who trapped the prince in there. I don't think they explained that. There was a conversation with Lae'zel in Arcane Tower. The prince was locked inside by the queen and the emperor stole it. Maybe, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe he did have that conversation. I forgot.
And then he forgot. So everything he just said is irrelevant.
All right,
great.
Let's take a brief break. I use the bathroom. I'll be back, and then we'll start. So enjoy the title screen music. I'll be right back.
Great. Bathroom with title screen music. How exciting. Cool. That's very awesome. Very awesome, dude. I guess we're done here because this shit was ridiculous. Most of that was complaining about Baldur's Gate. And then responding to people responding to him complaining about Baldur's Gate. That was ridiculous. That was genuinely awful. And I'm sorry for putting you through that if you stuck around. Yeah, we're done here. I don't want to wait for him. I was gonna wait for him to like loot bodies and shit, but I just don't. I don't feel like waiting for that. I really don't.
Here's the thing.
So here's the thing. This is the end of the stream, guys. Thank you, Rebsy. That was hilarious. That was a fucking great super chat. God damn, man. Yeah, so we're done here. Big ups, guys. Thanks for the super chats. Thank you for the members. Thank you for just watching and chatting and making me laugh, having fun, chill, fun stream. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Big ups. Shoutouts. G Ferg, Deuce Falco, Lucky Limes, Bob, Sierra, G Ferg. I think I said you. You're cool though. You get it twice. Crying Bear, Crin Bear, Gotta Fuck, Greg Williams, Dudette, Danny Darko, Rebsy, Kubos, John Smith. Hey, all you guys, Punish Lasagna. Of course, of course. As always, legends. Enjoy your day. And remember, guys.
I'm him. I've been him. I will continue to be him. I'm really him.
And by the way, Cat agrees with me.
I just want the
I just want the. Give me the monster. I just want the.
Vibrant and robust.
Wow. I just want the bust. I just want the. Give me the monster. I just want the. Wow, it's big.
Where did the load go?
I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the. I just want the bust. I just want the bust.
Fuck is he? Where is he? There he is. There he is. Big ups, guys.
$13,000. AG Almighty 8 gang, pull up and get your shit splat gang. Pull up, hop out and scramble your shit gang. On their computers. Baller alert. They on computers talking shit offline, they losing it. 10-year legacy on life support, now the Patreon. The mod's a bitch. I'm being goofy, it's just to send some bits. I ain't a snitch, but third out of third, he ain't never call a hit. Mid-mileage and Mr. Hustler, Vanilla on speed dial. My niggas wild. Can't forget Theo and he the golden child. Who else around? Kicking swaggers and DSP on some goofy shit. KG a bitch. Trips to Japan, he get finesse by a chick. He a trick. I just made a brand new socket. What we do, huh? We just trolled a brand new bitch. AG Almighty A gang, what up? Get your shit scramble, gang. Hey. You can't get played like Rambo, Howard or the pack. Your girl a snack. She go get swipe right to see how you react. DSP is how you don't play. He failing games every day. Buying fast food with the tips is why he gaining weight. We troll a chill, the socks is real, man, it's been a drill. Subcount went up a few days ago, bro, you know that ain't real. The streams ain't chill, you yawn and complain about your bills. Cackle be gon' damn near every night, you need some gin for real. You diss Ninja, PewDiePie, and Almighty. What the fuck? How you go feel when them Twitch cops not on your side? That ass bang. Kicking the furries, sweaties do sweet just like some McFlurries. Chat put on sub, only mode the moms don't have to worry. Do them dirty, X pull up with the shit, they get super nervous. What's the purpose? Praise be his name, Almighty at your service. Pull up, they log in, what's up? No tips, no bits, they talk tough. Let me change up the style. Hey, again we go wild. Hey, what? We hooligans cooling and bullying and fuck next, we up now. Hey, again we go wild. Hey, what? We hooligans cooling and bullying and fuck next, we up now. Hey, shout out to Susan and big ups to Porsche for holding it down. Hey, niggas out here trolling with a couple grand? What the fuck? To me that sound like you a fucking fan. Hey, do them dirty. X pull up with this shit, they get super nervous. What's the purpose? Praise be his name, Almighty at your service. Praise be.
For now. Hello.
I'm really him.
It's Tevin's fault.